My name is Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. Welcome to the Bugle 6, you nerds.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Tell you about my best friend.
Oh man,
It never gets old.
Yeah, it never does. It never does. And you know, our good friend Valkyrie sent me one as well. So next time he gets on the show, we'll have to add it and we'll switch it up. Like whoever's on the show that time, it'll be like in the intro and everything. So that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to getting Valkyrie back on here. But guys, we got a lot to talk about. This is Bugle 6, issue number 38. It's been a couple weeks thanks to the 4th of July and everything going on in life. And, you know, we have a lot of figures to talk about. I'm not going to go too far back. I don't want to get too old school, you know, but I do want to talk about Anakin, the release of Anakin. I do want to talk about Superman in art and Hot Toys, because why not, right? That's still a big deal, especially opening weekend of the movie. Speaking of the movie, I want to talk about the movie too. Spoiler alert, I liked it. But I want to talk about that. We also have James Bond to talk about and a couple other things. So tonight's going to be a late night, a fun night. We're going to have some fun. And I'm ready. I'm ready. And I am blurry. I don't know what's going on. There we go. I'll get there. I'll let you guys.
You're just so crisp that the rest of us see you blurry with your hypno glasses.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Here. Something's going on here. Here. I might have to unplug it and then let you guys talk for a little bit, but I'll fix it in a minute. But guys, welcome. No, just wipe your glasses. You'll be fine. But yeah, we're gonna have a good show, good late show. And one Adam 12. I want to start with you. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great. Red Sox won tonight, and I just saw Superman on Thursday. So, and can't wait to talk to you guys and chat about that.
Damn. Yeah, who'd they go against?
Ooh.
The Rays.
Nice. I'm a Yankees fan, so I can't really be happy for you on that, but happy that you saw the movie.
There it goes.
There you go.
There we go.
Unplug it and plug it back in the old school way. You know, when you always call like the service number and they had that accent, you know, like,
Yeah,
my name is John. And it's like, it's not John, but okay, keep going. Can you unplug it like 5 times? Like I haven't restarted. Okay. Wait 10 more seconds. Okay. Now unplug it again. Like, dude, it's not working. Give me something else to do here. Like, come on. No, good times. But yeah, what did you say about the Red Sox? They won tonight?
they won tonight. I don't know if they're how far they're going to go the rest of the season, but I'll take a win.
You know, speaking of baseball, the Brewers had a very rough start, and they have been killing it lately, I've got to say. So
They have been, yeah.
Go Brewers. Got a nice little rookie pitcher, and yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Go
Yes,
Yankees.
Flavio. Go Yankees. Get out of here with your Aaron Judge.
350 home runs,
Cheating.
baby. Come on now.
But how you doing, Flavio?
Well, I am doing great,
That's good.
but you know, I just
Always
wanted to let everybody know that yes, my friend Brick spoiled Superman for me before I went to go see it today, just a tad. But in turn,
I got excited.
off camera, he did mention that he would make it up to me and buy me the Hot Toys Superman figure. So
It's worth it.
I believe I'm here to accept an award of some kind.
Oh my gosh.
My.
You know
great.
what? I will not do that. So no, I can't wait to get into the talk of Hot Toys Superman and Art Superman and my thoughts on that. I know it got a little crazy via Facebook and all that stuff. I'm looking forward to getting a little spicy. I kind of held back on Wolfpack when I talked about it. I didn't want to ruin the show for Wolfpack. Okay, but this is our show, and if I get in trouble, Wolfpack's still okay. So I'll get a little spicy in here. But no, looking forward to both of those figures. We'll talk about that. But guys, before we move on any further, and before we check in with the chat, I do, you know, they switched the layout of this StreamYard a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit here. So let me have 1 second. Okay, here we go. I do want to thank the Brickyard members. We have 19 members. I'm going to name them off because they're awesome. The Movie Cannon, Nick Liftsticks, How You Figure, Brian Wong, 1Adam12, Valkyrie Magnus, X-Man Supreme, Collection Obsession, Mike Litteris, Jose G. Hernandez, aka Jose Plus, Collector Joey. Sorry, Joey. I just got my Dune figure. Okay, so I've been thinking about Collector Zone. Collector Joey, 12-inch Moose Dream, Matthew, the Jedi Knights Watch, Danny Spotchka, Tijuana Mike, Field of Burn, Big Rib, and Blurred Dad Life. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to become a part of the Brickyard, feel free to do so. All the 99% of the giveaways go to you guys. I try to do a giveaway at least once a month, and whatever money comes to me, I give right back to the winner. So become part of the Brickyard. You also get really cool emojis. Every once in a while, I will give you guys access to a video sooner if I actually make content anytime soon again. And we also have sometimes different, polls and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Come join us. But guys, we got 7 in the house to start off. I appreciate you guys all for being here. So let's go ahead and say hello to you guys. Of course, we got 1Adam12 saying hello to everybody, a Brickyard member and a moderator. Hit that like on your way in. Absolutely. Hit that like on your way in. It really does help the channel a lot. And I I don't know, it does something with the algorithm where it just spreads the word, I guess. So hit that like button on your way in. Let's see. We got Valkyrie Magnus. Of course, he's here. Good evening, Brick and Adam. Good evening to you. We got Flavio, House of Collectibles. Let's effing go. Let's effing go. Doc Bat in the house. What's up, fam? What's up? Hey, just saying. We need the blue and gray suit in this universe. Just saying.
Yes.
That would be amazing. Gotta happen.
And the underpants.
And the underpants. I think James Gunn mentioned that he's not planning on using them, but that could change because it changes.
Can I say he's not sure? He was like floating a trial balloon.
Okay.
Yeah, he was floating a trial balloon. He's like, well, not sure.
It would make sense,
happen.
and it would be
I think
fun.
it'll happen.
Let's make it happen. Come on, guys. We got Jose Plus in the house. What is up? What is up, man? Jose just had his show Mas o Menos. If I'm saying that right, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. Had his show this morning, and of course it was Hot Toys Hotline versus Eddie Mendez, and yeah, it was a fun show. And I gotta say, Eddie won that in my book.
I was actually supposed to be a judge on that show, but I told him that I went to go watch Superman.
You pulled a Flavio.
Well, I went to go watch Superman, so
well, that is important.
He asked me too, but I had to work. But I just caught the replay
up.
Before this while I was eating dinner, and it's a good show.
Yeah, it is a good show. He gave up on asking me though, and
I'll be on in the future, Jose.
I love the intro. Thank you, Valkyrie. I love it too. It's fun. It's fun.
I love Valkyrie. He's a great dude.
So, guys,
he is.
There is some big news before we get into the other Hot Toys news. But if you guys don't know yet, there's something really big happening on September 5th through September 6th. Okay. And this is the start of the 24-hour stream event 1/6 Celebration 2025. Now, if this goes well, I do plan on doing this every single year. Kind of like a con, something like that with 1/6 scale, toy nerd lovers all in one, just having fun, streaming about 1/6 scale figures, celebrating our collections and whatnot. And we have for the first year a heck of a lineup. So what this is all going to be is it's not going to be on one channel. So every 2 hours, we all have our own time slot, okay, with the YouTubers that you see here. And we'll have the links down in the description, and we'll come out with a schedule where it has all the links as well, and you'll be able to know where to go, when to go, and have a good time. So guys, this is huge. This is going to be a lot of fun. We have the Jedi Knights watch. We have Ben Thomas show, Collecting Weekly, El Profesoro, 1/6 Figure Focus, myself, 1/6 Fix, 1/6 Scale Man, Brother Cousins, Collector Joey, Movie Canon, and to end it off, we have Hot Toys Hotline. Now, the coolest thing is we have plenty of giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun throughout that 24-hour live stream. And we have a lot of special guests. For example, so far with the Bugle 6, we have these two gentlemen right here, as well as Zord, who will be on the channel here. So all confirmed so far, and we're going to have a heck of a time. That's going to be a fun 24 hours. Make sure to come join us in all those channels. And thank you to everybody who is participating.
And may I just chime in and add here, Brick? This was an idea that me and you made months ago. And we are very, very grateful that the entire community was very receptive on this event.
Yeah.
We thought that it is something that is very pivotal for the community to have everybody come together as a whole.
Yep.
And this is the product of that. So
this took a long time to kind of coordinate and come together. This did not take a week, a day.
Not last week either.
No, this is something we announced this already, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, but been planning this for a while. And hey, we got the schedule out. So schedule was fun making too. It was like almost like fantasy football, where I basically drew names from a hat, and whatever order I drew the names is the time that they were then able to choose like their time that they wanted. Does that make sense?
Right.
So like if I drew Jedi first, he got the first pick of what time he wanted to be on, kind of thing.
Right.
So just to make it even and have fun. But no, this is great, guys. Again, giveaways, a lot of fun stuff. And of course, 1/6 scale talk.
Dude, and what a champ. The hotline hottie. Just freaking finishing it out, dude. Like, shout out to Connor. So he's gonna be ending it out.
Hey, Brick, at the end of each show, will the next host come on like maybe 2 minutes or 5 minutes before their start time to say, hey, it's, like Ben Thomas goes on Jedi Night's Watch and says, hey, this is who I got. This is who on my panel. Once you're done in 5 minutes here with Jedi Night's Watch,
hop over to
tune into Ben Thomas show. Let's go nuts.
Yeah,
this is who I have on.
If they want to do that, that would be great. If they don't have to. However, I am gonna have, I'm sure that all the hosts already know like what to do because they're all great. But at the end of their show, they're gonna say to the audience who to go to next, right? And then of course that link would be down in the description. So like, let's say 1/6 Fix is up and he's ending. He'll say, hey, go over to 1/6 scale man. And if Leo doesn't actually go on 1/6 Fix's show that for the last 5 minutes, that's okay. But no, it's
gotcha.
The key to this is not just giveaways, is not just to talk about 1/6 scale figures, but it's also to celebrate the community. The community is freaking awesome. Whether there's drama involved with it sometimes, whether there's politics involved with it sometimes, whether there's whatever is involved, this community is by far the best community,
the greatest
ever
that I've ever been a part of.
Like it is amazing. Let me tell you how fast each and every one of these people right here got back to me within minutes.
Cool.
Within minutes.
And some
of them within seconds.
Brick, I just want to say too, when we were talking about this, because I know a lot of people don't know this, but we talk. Ooh, the LED light up! But we talk, a lot. We talk a lot all day long. But when me and you talked about this, we weren't even thinking about ourselves. We literally were thinking about everybody, bro, because everybody matters. Everybody matters. Like, that's the biggest thing that I love about this community. Some people might not see it that way, but we are busy people. There are people that, work hard to put these shows on and put their content out, and there's not enough time in the day. There's not enough time in the day for me to watch everybody out there. But I love each and every one of you, and I want you guys to know that, and I know Brick backs me up on that. Everybody matters in this community, so this is why we made this happen, because everybody matters. Yeah,
100%. And quick shout out to Collector Joey for making this schedule here. Like, we all got the schedule together as a team, but Collector Joey, you put this basically on paper and made it look as awesome as it does right here. So thank you, my good sir, for that.
And Flavio, to your point, like, Brick, I really appreciate what you do and what Gio does, and Ben Thomas and Graham and everyone on this who's being a part of this, because as someone who's like a pundit who comes on here and just speaks my mind and has a little 3 hours of therapy here to talk about action figures and movies and TV shows, it's great for me. But you guys do the prep work. You do the hard work of putting together an agenda and getting the slides ready and doing the promotion. So it makes it easy for someone like me who I just want to, have some fun and chat and outlet. Yes. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who's being a part of this, who are in the community and has you know, I have my channel, but I do my little things. I don't have time to, or this maybe the skill set. I don't know. Maybe I do. I just haven't done that. But I appreciate what you guys do to host these shows. Because it's a lot of work hosting the shows.
I second
and
that.
it's
Yep.
appreciated. And Jose, who's in the chat, you know, and Marco with Masamenos, it's prep work doing these shows. It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot. It is a lot of work. I wish I could do it more often. I wish I could do it every single week. You know, not only would that help the channel outright, like, but I wish I could just hang out with you guys every week. And no, and I know we talk a lot, pretty much every day, and all of that. But being on here is a very special thing, and enjoying the conversation with the chat and different panel members once in a while, and all of that. And guys, if you guys are not on here on this schedule, you know, again, this is something that I want to do every year, and you know, we can always have guests, and I believe every single show wants guests. So feel free to reach out to any of us, and I'm sure we can find a place for you to be a guest on. So,
and I'm glad you said
this
that
is
too.
all about the community. These are some streamers that I talk to once in a while and that I watch consistently, and you know, I'm just but yeah, don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that too, because there's people that, you know, might not be on this list that matter just as much. And I want
Absolutely.
everybody to know that there is a huge responsibility that each and every one of us take part of being within the community. We all matter. That's the bottom line. Hashtag we all matter. So even if you're not on this list, you know, we want you guys to know that, you know, we acknowledge each and every one of you, and you know, there's always a future within this event here. So, you know, if anybody wants to hop in, you know, you're more than welcome, and you were always thought of.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Okay, so now that has, I mean, it's been officially announced for all, but now that we have been able to put it on here as well, we have a lot to talk about. I mean, we got Superman right here. We will talk about Superman. I do want to talk about a couple figures first, and then maybe get into Superman, and then go back to a couple figures. But what would you guys like to talk about first? I think we should save the Superman figures until after we talk about the movie. It would be got like a really nice blend there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's see, Anakin, James Bond, or the Joker. You know what? Hold that thought. I'm going to give you the option, but I'm going to take it away from you. Okay. I have a good idea. I want to talk about something, and the something is very in-art related.
Ew.
And that is the Draco Malfoy head sculpt. It looks like what they're doing here is they are going to be updating the head sculpt for Malfoy, which we all knew had to happen because, let's be honest, he looked pretty bad. Especially compared to the other Harry Potter figures. And, you know, that's not to diss on InArt at all. You know, something I will say is it's very nice that InArt listens. That's the big thing for InArt, is that they put out a figure, or announce a figure, I should say. And if there's flaws, they don't get pissy at people like some other companies. They fix it, and they understand it. They see it, and it's fixed. I mean, it's fixed. It looks beautiful. What do you guys think about InArt doing this? Do you think it's good? Do you think they should wait to show something so they don't have that kind of bad look at first? Adam, I'll start with you on your thoughts.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I got a vested stake in this. But I do think whenever a company listens to its customer base and adjusts accordingly, it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Because what's the old saying? The customer knows best. Not always, but a lot. But that's a truism. The customer knows best.
Reminds me of Space Jam. Always. Always. Okay. Always. Those little alien dudes. Yeah.
So
Anyways.
I think it's always, to me, it's if they're listening to what their customer feedback is, you can't go wrong. And Hot Toys has shown, that they will do that. I mean, they certainly made adjustments to the black suit, Spider-Man after there was outcry in the community about that. I don't know if it was totally to the point of what collectors wanted, but I saw your video and what you put online, Brick, and it looks pretty good to me. I think it looks really good.
And I almost passed on that figure. Yeah, good on them. Flaviosa. Are you excited? Do you have the Harry Potter line? Are you excited for? I'm asking you about NR. I should know the answer. I get it.
No. I mean, well, I appreciate the way that you responded to me right there, but I will say, I love Harry Potter. Harry Potter is one of my big three movies for me. It goes, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and then, everything else like Spider-Man OG trilogy, shit like that. So I personally never went in on this just because I'm not sold. I'm not sold on InArt, and I just probably was jaded with the first release with the InArt 2-pack that I have from them. I know they have come miles longer since then, and I am very aware of that, but I eventually think I want to pick these up. I just don't know how I'm going to do them. Just because of the price point, I don't really think, InArt should be touting that price, for what they are. But that's another story and another topic for another day. But I really do like the way that the Hermione, the Ron, and Harry have turned out. For what they are, I really do think they did a good job. And I'm excited to see the Draco. I was not impressed at all with, the original, head sculpt that they did for him. But overall, I think that, they have a chance to turn it around. Severus Snape looks good as well. So overall, I'm excited for this line because once they're made, right? There's always a chance to be able to pick them up in the future. So I think I will. I just don't know how I'm going to make it happen with all these Hot Toys coming out.
Yeah.
But, I do like the fact that, InArt is being receptive to the community. I think that is one thing that they do very well on, and, being responsive on making changes on their products. So I will give them a thumbs up for that.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. That's the way a company should run, honestly. For me though, with Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. I grew up on Harry Potter. I started reading the books when I was 11. I think the first movie came out when I was 12. I heard about the books before I was 11, right? I remember going into a Costco for the first time and they had I think it was the third book, all over the place. I remember going to a midnight release for The Order of the Phoenix at a grocery store, okay, that also sold some books. And because I didn't want to go to the bookstore. That was too crazy. But I remember having my mom when I was 13 or so, going, or maybe 14, driving me to get a book. A 14-year-old asking their mom to get them a book. That doesn't happen very often these days. So the fact that, kids were reading again and, the movies came out, they were awesome. However, to spend that much money on the figures from the first movie is not for me. because I'm not going to get multiple versions. As much as I love Harry Potter, I mean this could go on for forever. Like,
Right.
so I'm picking one version of Harry Potter, and for me, it would have to be like the Order of the Phoenix or beyond, like between 5 and 7. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be the older versions of the characters, even though I love the younger versions. I don't want that to be my only, interpretation of Harry Potter. But guys, we got some people in the chat coming in. We got the Jedi Knights watch. Hey everyone, what is up? Too sweet, baby. Brickyard member and a moderator to the channel. Thank you.
Grammathy.
We got 12-inch Moose Dream as well. Hello, community of collectors. My Darth Vader Sith apprentice is incoming. Let's go.
Everybody join his Facebook group too.
Ooh, okay.
For sure. Be a Musketeer.
Be a Musketeer. Love that. But thank you, sir, for being here. We have Mr. Feel the Burn, the man who gave Superman a 100 out of 100. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I saw that myself.
No, but I hear you did like the movie, and yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did overall. So let's see here. Who else we got? You guys just kind of talking amongst each other. Ooh, we got the movie canon in the house. I have family over, but just wanted to say hello. Hello, Brick, Flavio, Adam, chat. Gio, instead of watching a movie with the family, you should turn us on the TV and say, those are my friends.
There you go.
Have some chicken wings, some popcorn or something. But sir, I appreciate you, and I have to give you a nice thank you. Here we
Thank you. In this time in my life, in this moment.
Boy, this is really overwhelming. Sorry, okay. My voice is also a little gone. Whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I gotta get a shorter one too. So that, you know what I mean? Like I gotta get a couple more of those. So, but thank you, Gio. I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Yeah, everyone just kind of talking to each other. But yeah, and Art, good on you for doing this. I'm looking forward to seeing the sculpt when it's updated. And yeah.
Is this the raw? Like, was that the raw sculpt? Like the new updated compared to what was already shown?
Might have been. But it did say it was pushed to August to pre-order, so that's good. Yeah, it could have been the raw. Guys, I can't wait. I can't wait any longer. Can we talk about Superman?
I knew you were going to say that, but we got a lot to talk about, Brick.
Okay. Okay. I get it. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about Joker?
Sure, because that's
we got out of the way.
That's another one with you, Brick. My feathers have been ruffled with you.
Oh, here we go. All right, let me present to you Hot Toys Joker, baby. Here somewhere. I don't like this new look. Okay. So we got the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, from the first Joker, even though it's labeled Joker 2. Totally understand it.
I didn't see that, first off, by the way. I heard
the second one or the first one?
Yeah, part 2. I didn't see it labeled as that, but...
Well, it was labeled as that in like the description.
Yeah.
Not on the box, though.
I don't think it's like that on the box. I just think it says the Joker or something on the box.
It was a loophole.
I'm sure in the small print it says Joker 2 or something. But Superman talk will make me leave. Seeing flick tomorrow.
No, stay.
It will be no spoilers. So if anything, it's going to get you pumped for this movie. But yeah, no spoilers. I would not do that.
Never.
At least,
never.
Yeah. I don't want to be number 2. Oh man. All right.
He was number 1.
So the Joker. I'm not going to get into the movie, but I do like that Hot Toys gave you the option, unlike InArt, and I compare them because everybody else likes to. that we have the option to get just one figure. And not only that, but the figure comes with like a cool diorama. So you get a nice chair, you get the curtain. Okay, let's go to that real quick. Here we go. Well, I'm skipping through all these, but I want to see, since I'm talking about it, it's got to be around here somewhere. Boom, boom, boom.
That was your favorite picture back there.
That works. But yeah, guys, Hot Toys does not do this, like, ever.
Never.
Okay, like, and this is what competition is good for. Anybody who says like they're not competing with NR and all that's BS. Like they're competition. Okay, they're both premium. All right, and they're competing. And they knew that if they were going to come out with this figure after the fact that NR already did, sort of, then they were going to have to do the extreme and come out with a cool diorama. Like, and it's awesome. I love that. However, in my opinion, I will say this, and then I'll move on to Flavio to defend the figure.
Go ahead.
I don't like the hair, and I don't like the sculpt.
Wow.
I take that back. The sculpt is good. The eye paint looks very. That's
your favorite
right
picture.
here.
That's your favorite picture.
This looks like Grandpa Joe from freaking Willy Wonka dressed up as the Joker. This looks so bad. He looks old. The paint on top of here, the red eyebrows, looks so like a kid just went boom. Like, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. The tailoring, jacket's very thick, looks a little Overall, I think it's a fine looking figure. Okay, I do. I love that they came out with the diorama stuff. It's a fine looking figure, but I do like to. I like to be honest with what my eyes are seeing with you guys, with myself, with my friends, and I think there could be a lot of improvements with this. Flavio.
Man, the can of worms have been opened. But, dude, this looks fire, bro. Like, come on. Like, the way that you've been poo-pooing on it, like, is a little bit too brash in my eyes. But I will agree with you. I think, the debate between InArt and Hot Toys is very tough on this release. I don't think InArt's release was horrible by any means, but I don't think Hot Toys did a bad job with this either. You got to take into consideration the price point for this. You got to take into consideration that there's no paywall behind this figure.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But this figure right here alone, this picture, let's just say, the one thing that I have, a little bit of, step back or throw back into your court here with this was the dude lived off of freaking green apples and just smoked cigarettes all day on set. Like, of course he's gonna have wrinkly skin. So I feel like that picture was awesome. But Hot Toys, for me, for what the price was, for it being artisan line, in competitions with InArt, I think this is a very, very feasible figure here. 10 years ago, this wouldn't have even been a thought for Hot Toys to even tackle, let alone the InArt, thing coming in and them going with the artisan line. I think they did a great job meeting in the middle for people having that iconic look and making it rooted too.
Sure.
And I think they did a great job on the head sculpt compared to the prototype. If you look at them, I actually dropped the comparison in Connor's Hotlines chat. The prototype versus the release, I think, is actually an upgrade on the hair itself, the face paint, and the underlying sculpt. The face paint seems a little bit more accurate to certain pictures that I've seen. And, you know, it has kind of that melting look, whereas, you know, the prototype just seemed like it was placed on the face. You know, it seemed more lived in on the release. So I really do appreciate that. I think the hair itself has gotten a little bit better from the prototype. The only thing that I'll say about the prototype's hair seemed like it was a little bit thinner, which was a little bit more accurate. But the way that the prototype was laying compared to the final was not as good as the way that the final came out. Now, the one thing that I'll say about InArt is I like the way that they did the clothing. Now, the clothing on Hot Toys is no slouch. I think Hot Toys is, how do I say it? The way that they constructed the clothing, I think is going to last and hold up a lot better than InArt's. But I think InArt did a lot better with the layering and the thinness of the fabric. And I like the way that Hot Toys did the lapels compared to InArt's. InArt seemed to like pop out a little bit more. Hot Toys seems to lay a little bit more flush. But I think for the conversation of this figure, I think it's kind of like a tomatoes tomato kind of conversation. You know what I mean? To each their own. I
Sure.
love the fact that InArt, you know, did the 4-pack. I really wanted all looks, but I was not fond of there being a paywall for me to be able to pick all the looks up. Now, if they would have made, you know, single pieces for all of them, awesome. But Hot Toys gave you the iconic look. So, you know, for me, with the price point for what it is, me collecting a ton of other figures, this was, you know, an instant buy when they did it. But with that being said, for you to think that Hot Toys isn't going to reuse this head sculpt and make the other ones, you got to be crazy. You know, it might be
Oh, so you think they will make the other ones?
Absolutely. They put so much money into this and R&D into this head sculpt. There's no way that they're only going to use this one head sculpt. They're not going to make any more of these movies that I know of, and I don't think they will. So why would they not erase the paint?
Well, they would have to change the look of the the expression and everything though.
Yeah,
with,
but
like,
they
the
have the
different looks.
underlying Joaquin
Sure.
Phoenix, you know, sculpt there.
Sure.
So they could just delete the face paint off and give you a, you know, I'm drawing a blank now. Arthur Fleck. They could give you an Arthur Fleck without the paint. You know?
Sure.
They could give you the other one in the bathroom scene where he's dancing very easily. So I think Hot Toys, what they wanted to do and what they seen that InArt was doing was like, oh damn, they're just throwing out a 4-pack all at once and trying to get everybody's money in one shot. What Hot Toys likes to do is dirty in a way, but at the same way, it's smart. They're going to try to get our money in multiple different releases. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on them remaking those other pieces. But
Would you get all those?
absolutely, I wanted the InArt release. I wanted all 4 looks, but for me, that price point versus me collecting so many other Hot Toys was just not feasible. You know, for the people that did it, you know, congratulations. But when this was announced, I thought, hell yeah, you know what I mean? For a fraction of the cost and for Hot Toys quality that I already know, you know, has been tested and time out, I'm definitely gonna go with the easier, you know, purchase. So I'm banking on Hot Toys remaking those other looks. But, you know, the way that this release came out, I love it for what it is, you know?
Sure.
So that's my take on it.
No, that's good take. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I just certain pictures with these blogger photos for every figure just
And
don't
I'll
look
say,
right for me.
I'll say, you know what I mean? It's a very divisive conversation because Hot Toys' sculpt looks a lot more bigger compared to the InArt one. I think InArt, I like the way that InArt seemed a lot thinner, if that makes sense, in the face sculpt. And Hot Toys is scaling seems to be a lot bigger than Inart's, right?
Sure.
So that's kind of like a play on the naked eye. You know what I mean? If you hold the Inart head sculpt next to the Hot Toys one, I guarantee you the Hot Toys ones is going to have a lot more plastic and is going to be a lot bigger in scaling, whether they're the same scale, 1/6, you know? But I think that Hot Toys' look seems a lot more feasible with the price versus Inart's, you know, having a great sculpt and having a great rooting job. I think there was a lack in paint application and texture. That's what I have with Inart every time. That's my problem with them every time. I think Inart lacks in, you know, paint application and texturing compared to Hot Toys. But I don't think either of them are a bad purchase. So, you know, to each their own.
Sure. Adam, is this something that you're interested in?
So let me at a couple angles here. When this went on pre-sale, the day it went on pre-sale, the queue for the Artisan, I had this in my cart, and I was about to purchase it, and then I thought, what are you doing? You're FOMOing. So I ended up not getting it. And the reason I ended up not getting it, I saw the first movie. I thought it was a well-made film, well acted, well directed. But man, if that wasn't depressing as all hell. Yeah. And it's a movie that's dude, it's a great movie, but it's like The Pianist or like Sophie's Choice. It's a movie that those are movies that are great movies. They're depressing, and I never want to see them again. As opposed to the movie we're going to talk about coming up here, I can't wait to see that, and I know I'm going to be seeing that movie over and over again.
Which one are you talking about again?
Which one?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, that one.
Even Man of Steel. I've seen that over and over again.
Yeah.
The Joker is not one I ever want to see again. I have no interest in seeing the second one. Maybe if it got better reviews, I would try it out. But my experience,
watched part 2?
No, because it got panned so much, and my feeling.
Same here. Like so many people talk crap about it. The only thing that I watched was the ending. I was like, I don't need to watch the whole movie.
I watched it, and I
read the spoilers. I know what happens, and when I read that, I'm like, nah, I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just feeling pretty depressed watching that first movie. So this is not a figure that I want on my shelf. I love Batman. I love the Joker. I have the Heath Ledger Inart 2-pack, and I have the Jack Nicholson Hot Toys. Now
heavy hitters.
I do think that you can't trust the blogger photos in many instances.
Right.
Now, sometimes the blogger photos look outstanding.
He knows people.
But in many cases, I don't say many cases, in some cases, they kind of missed the mark. I mean, I think with Artisan Anakin, those didn't look that great. In hand, Artisan Anakin's great. Is an awesome figure. Mace Windu, Padme Amidala.
He's cooking right now.
I mean, several figures I've gotten this year. The blogger photos stunk, but when you have them in hand, they look great. Hey, even the black suit Spider-Man, like that didn't look good, but I saw your video. I mean, I haven't seen it in hand, but I saw your video, and that figure looks freaking awesome. Yeah. So, I think, and Moose said it in the comments. It's if you don't want all those other figures and you just want the Joker representation that's in this outfit, you don't want to spend over $1,000 for it.
Yeah,
I think getting the Artisan or the sculpted version is the way to go. Plus, you get that sick set, man. I mean, that Murray, the Murray Hamilton, whatever the name of that talk show, that set is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the best, sets, that one of the best accessories I think that Hot Toys has ever done. So, I think I'd like to see what I haven't seen any videos yet on this. I'd like to see what those are. They might look better than the blogger photos we have here.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will say, sorry, Brick,
No, you're good.
and I agree with everything that you say, Adam. The only thing that I will say, I think InArt beat Hot Toys on the display base aspect when it comes to Hot Toys' quality, because shout out to the Figure Hideout, I've seen his review, and I think the backdrop on this is kind of like that cardboardish material for the back of the wall. I think that's cheap. And the flooring as well. I think it's just a very thin layer. Now, I will say Hot Toys beat InArt in the fact of the lighting aspect. You know, InArt does that stupid, like, pill battery thing for the spotlights. Hot Toys did the LED. But either way, it is all factored into the price. So I am more than happy with the way that Hot Toys executed it for the cost. So I understand that, but materials is the only thing that I was caught up on for the display. But I'm happy we got that.
Yeah. So did you, Flavio, you are getting this then?
Paid off. I'm just waiting
Okay.
for shipping, and
Very
I'm waiting
cool.
for Sideshow to hit me up.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to your review. I had this pre-ordered. I did the FOMO and regretted it after I purchased. Unlike Adam, he caught himself before, which good on you. And I was starting to make payments on it and everything, and then I don't know, man. I get like hyped for something, and then 30 other things get announced, and I end up buying a couple other figures in between or whatever. Or again, you just find out the sequel sucked and you're just not into the figure anymore. And realize that honestly, the second movie kind of tarnished this character. However, for the true fan of the Joker, right, Flavio?
Yes, sir.
It's nice to have a lot of interpretation. So I get that.
I mean, I don't doubt everything that everybody said. The second movie, I went to actually watch it in theaters too. But I was upset of the way that the whole movie took place. But the first one, as depressing as it is, I know everybody talks about that. I will always say that I feel like that was a very good social experience, social experience for the world, because there's so many things and adversities that he dealt with within the movie that we take for granted that people actually deal with mental health and stuff.
It's something that D-Lo said it on Wolfpack, and he said that basically this could have been a movie without using the Joker, right? Totally agree with that. However, they used the Joker, and what that did is it brought so many other people to watch this movie that would not have seen this movie if it wasn't the Joker. Let's be honest.
True.
And kind of opened up their eyes to, depression and, these types of issues. So, I mean, it's a great movie. I would say 9 out of 10 movie. I mean, it's really good, but it is one of those movies that I've seen 1.5 times. I started watching it again. I was like, I know what happens. I
think I watched it 3 times.
Okay.
I like it though. I like it. The first one is really good to me.
Dude, you know what? I want this chair. I want my Deadpool figure to sit in it with his guns. Yeah, that would be. I'm gonna find this chair. I have to.
This chair reminds me of the set that was in my grandmother's kitchen. It's like late 70s, early 80s set.
Love it. We got Chris in the house. What is up, Chris? Hello. Thank you for being here. We got Blue Tattoo as well. Hello, everyone. What is up, Blue Tattoo? Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Let's see here. We got you guys talking amongst each other. 12-inch Moose Dream saying, I buy minifigures because of the beauty of a figure. That set diorama is gorgeous. I didn't like the movie Joker much. Joker without Batman is superfluous. Am I saying that right?
Superfluous.
Okay. So good job, Adam. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with this 100%. You know, I love that we have collectors in the community that just like it because it's a beautiful figure, right? There's so many different collectors out there, and it's an amazing thing. I do that a couple times as well. Like I don't know. I didn't. There's a couple figures in my collection that like I know I didn't need, but I think they're great, and I feel like that's going to be happening to me more because of my pre-orders, Artisan in general. You know, in art with some figures that they've been announcing. Like I don't necessarily need these figures, but they look amazing, and I want these figures. So yeah, it's a collecting is an interesting thing. We got speaking of D-Lo, he must have heard his name. Yo. What is
Brother
up,
D-Lo?
What is up? Too sweet, baby. Give me some of that. Let's see here. Guys, everybody just saying hello to everybody. Ooh, just did a kit bash of Ahsoka. Very nice. You want to have to look at those pictures. I've been a busy guy today. I had baseball game for my son in the morning, early hours. Then we went to get pizza after the game. Then he had tryouts for a traveling league. Then after that, I was able to go home for like an hour and have a cup of coffee and some water. And then I took my kid to a birthday party, my other kid, and had to get ready for the Bugle 6. It's been a busy Saturday, but it's been fun. We got X-Man Supreme, a Brickyard member himself, a whole late night show setup with a desk and all, but Deadpool in a suit put Deadpool in a suit and have him do the Space Coast to Coast thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely, D-Lo. Check out the Wolfpack page, baby. We do have a Facebook page on Facebook, and you guys can check us out. The Wolfpack page and
updated constantly.
Update. Yeah, we post on there all the time. Every Friday we have a BST thing going on, so we have a lot of fun on there. Some controversy stuff, some fun stuff, mostly fun stuff, I should say. And yeah, just collections and everything. It's fun. Come join us over there with the Wolfpack. X-Man Supreme saying, I think Joker is compelling enough character to stand on his own. He wouldn't be so iconic otherwise. Yeah. Okay. So awesome looking figure. Overall, awesome looking figure. I have some things that I was being a little judgy on, but overall, good looking figure. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to talk a little bit about our friend James Bond.
Ooh.
And let's pull this up here. And I've talked about this on the Wolfpack stream. I love Daniel Craig. I don't know if he's my second or third favorite James Bond. I am more of a Casino Royale, Skyfall. You know, those two movies were fantastic. This movie was okay. It was fine. I wish we got a Daniel Craig James Bond from the other two movies that I mentioned, but you know, this is still exciting. This is James Bond. This is 007. Okay, this is a big deal, and I think this version looks a heck of a lot better than the first version that we got. This battle damage looks phenomenal. And Adam, I want to start with you because you know what? I don't think I've ever talked to you as much as we talk to you about James Bond. And I know you're a movie guy, and I want to know your thoughts first on James Bond, and if you have any history with James Bond, and then kind of going into this figure, whether you like him or not.
I love James Bond. I've seen every Bond film, going back to Connery. I actually have DID, who does a lot of military figures. They had a third-party James Bond from, I believe it was from Casino Royale, that they had. It came out maybe 6 years ago, and I have that, and it's good. It's not as good as the, it's not as good as the one that they just announced, but I'm pretty happy with it. So it's a Daniel Craig Bond. I like the Craig Bond movies. I like them a lot. It's interesting that you mentioned about Casino Royale. and Skyfall, because those are my favorite Craig Bond movies. And when you were saying that, I was looking over at my Batman figures and just thinking about some characters like Batman, like let's say like the Nolan films. I can tell the difference between Batman Begins suit and the DX-19, the suit from The Dark Knight. But just off the top, and certainly Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, they have different outfits in their films. Captain America changes up his costume in the various Marvel films, Spider-Man as well. But I was thinking, would I be able to tell what outfit Bond was wearing from one, like if show me a picture, he didn't tell me what film it was, but it's Daniel Craig Bond, and you said which film is this? And he's in a tux, or he's in like this outfit here. Dude, I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know which one is which.
That's a good point.
But I do think this is and again, it's kind of what I was saying before, is that the blogger photos, I don't know. This, and I kind of agree with what seems to be the consensus, is that this is a better looking figure than the one, at least the head sculpt than the tux. I am probably going to pass on this one because I do have that DID Bond, and I think one Daniel Craig Bond is enough for me. I don't need more than one representation. But I tell you, I would like, if they came out with a Pierce Brosnan from GoldenEye.
Oh, I
would love to get that, and I would love to get a Connery. I don't care what film from Connery, but one of those, either of those.
Dr. No, baby.
Like to pick.
Got to be Dr.
Yeah,
No.
I think so, or Goldfinger. Yeah,
or Goldfinger. Goldfinger would be great. No, that's awesome, man. I agree with you. Like, if you just zoomed in on the suit, and I honestly wouldn't know. So that's fair. But what I think about too is like what accessories it can come with, and I loved Casino Royale. Like that to me is a perfect Bond film, and it was like Daniel Craig's first introduction as Bond, and then we got Skyfall. After Skyfall, I did feel like his kind of went downwards a little bit, but I think my favorite is Connery. Love Dr. No, love Goldfinger. And then I think it's Pierce, and then Daniel Craig, I would say. So like the three biggest names, I guess. And I have not seen every Bond film. I don't want to act like I've seen every Bond film. I'm not the biggest fan, but I am a fan of Bond. So what got me into Bond, honestly, GoldenEye, the video game from Nintendo 64. That is what got me into James Bond.
Love that game.
I then moved to a different state, different country, really. And my neighbor had the Bond collection, and he was a huge fan. And so I started watching a lot of different James Bond movies. Now, I think before that, I had seen like GoldenEye and what is the, oh my gosh, the not, see, I want to say No Time to Die, Live Another Day or something like that. What is it?
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. Die Another Day. So see, I'm a fan, not a big fan, but I do love Bond, and it's definitely something that I would be interested in with this figure. So I am on the border with this figure. I want to see what they do else with like James Bond. I would love to get a 006 as well. That would be really cool. But Flavio, what's your take on Bond, man?
So I'm kind of like in a weird position with Bond. I've always known about James Bond, but I never watched any of the films.
Oh, none of them.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Wow.
No, I've probably like seen pieces of, Daniel Craig's, but I can't personally say that I've actually sat through, any of them. And I feel, kind of bad about that because James Bond. Yeah. Like that's always been a big part. My dad, really loved James Bond movies, and, he's a big action buff and stuff like that. So I just never, for some reason, I don't know why,
Hmm.
I never sat down and watched them. But from what I can say about the figures perspective, which, speaking about the figures, I think is gonna drive me to actually go back and watch them all. I actually was planning on buying all of them because you can buy them on like Voodoo, and I think there's like a collection. It's like, I think it was, I want to say it was pretty salty, but it was like $100 or so for all of them, like the complete collection. But I wanna do the service of, you know, watching them all, because I know there's a lot of history with James Bond, and also even with my brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, being gamers, you know, from, you know, as long as I could remember. You know, I've always heard of GoldenEye. I personally never played it, but I know my older brothers and sisters always have, and you know, I've always tapped into, you know, what was mentioned about it, and you know, the iconic, you know, being able to do the 4-screen, you know, play online and stuff like that. So I know about it, and you know, the history. I just never.
You know which one you should start with, Flavio, if you ever watch a movie?
What?
Octopussy. You got to start with that one.
What's that? What the hell?
It's Roger Moore.
It's a legit movie. It's real.
Oh wow.
You ever see Austin Powers?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, it's literally Bond comedy. You know.
Okay.
Like it's, yeah.
I mean, me personally, I'm that kind of person that I like to go in order. So I know Dr. No, what, right?
Dr. No is
one?
the OG. Yep.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go in that order. You know, if I can help it. But from what
really, if you just watch the actor, like if you start with Pierce Brosnan, like if you watch his movies, you can watch all of his movies and be good.
Okay.
Honestly, you could probably watch each movie and be fine. But like if you just start with his first movie or Daniel Craig's first movie, there are certain characters, you know, but it's not like you have to watch the other movies before.
Right. I mean, but you know, I don't want to be like how do I say it, like a hype beast here on this situation, because I still think I'm gonna pick these up. Like, and I don't know if that's wrong or not, but for me, like, I feel like I definitely have some type of an attachment to the IP. Like, you know, I love action, and I've seen snippets. Of, you know, his movies, of Daniel Craig's movies, but I just never sat down and actually took the time to watch them all. They're long movies. All of them are long movies.
Well, a lot of them have very cool, like, intro songs.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Well, just
Skyfall,
like,
obviously.
Skyfall was amazing with Adele. Was amazing.
Chris Cornell, You Know My Name, which was not, it wasn't in Casino Royale. It was the one after it. Can't remember the name of that picture.
Quantum
Someone
of
in
Solace.
chat will know.
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. Yeah.
I know, and that's the thing. I know. You know, what was it? The one that you just said? Sorry, I'm drinking right
You Know My Name by Chris Cornell.
No. The movie.
Skyfall.
No.
Skyfall. What are we talking about? James Bond?
Yeah, his first movie, Casino Royale. Sorry,
Casino Royale. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Casino Royale is really good because that's the one that I like seen parts and pieces of, but I never sat down and like fully watched the movie. But go ahead.
Have you watched any of the Jason Bourne movies? The Bourne Identity.
Yeah.
So the new, obviously, if you go back and watch the Connery films and Roger Moore, but more so the Connery films, you got to remember. I mean, today's standards are dated, and they were made at the height of the Cold War.
Okay.
So you know, it's from the U.S. and Great Britain against the Soviet Union kind of mindset. But the Daniel Craig movies, the character went through a reinvention post 9/11, and certainly post Bourne Identity films. I think those films kind of influenced the reinvention of Bond. I don't know if I know that you say start with the Connery films, but you might if my only concern would be you watch them and you're like, it's kind of dated.
Yeah,
you
and
might
then
be
you
better
never
off
watch, and then you
with,
never watch the new ones.
That's
watch with Casino Royale, because the thing with the other films, all the other Bond films have their own self-contained story, and it's really no connection in storyline. All 6 Craig films have an interconnected story.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and that's kind of like my thing that I kind of was going back and forth on the whole IP itself. Like, I know they're really old movies, but for me, it's like I'm kind of one of like that homage kind of guy where it's like, damn, my dad grew up watching these films. I know they're so old, but it would feel wrong of me for not, giving those movies a chance and just skipping right over to Daniel Craig's, even though he's my James Bond. Like, you know what I mean? My generation's James Bond in a way. But they're so old, I'm going to do my due diligence and sit through them. I know they're probably really old films, but I think it'll be good for me, you know what I mean, to be able to watch, a different take on, the storyline or the IP in a different time setting. So that's one thing that I will acknowledge. I know that it's not going to be maybe as relatable to me, but I still do want to give them a chance and check them out. But going back to the figure itself, the first one that was announced, I know we all joked about it, and the head sculpt wasn't up to par, to a lot of collectors, standards. But when this one got announced, it was kind of like, like, dang, they actually did it. Like, there's more than one, but, that's kind of like, we already knew that was possibly going to happen. So I'm very happy that, they're giving us more than one flavor here at this movie. But without watching the movies, I don't want to sound like a hype beast, but I personally, if I have the shot to do so, I'm probably going to pick up both, because for me, there's not really a James Bond look without a tuxedo is the way that I'm looking at it. So, even though I really love this commando, look for Daniel Craig, I still feel like I need to get the other one, the first one. Now, taking that into perspective, they're the same exact head sculpt, but for some reason this one looks a lot more palatable to me. And the lighting could be playing a play in that, the battle damage could be playing a part in that, but I really am looking at the outfit, and that's what really calls to me here.
Yeah, the outfit is really nice.
Yeah, you got that sweater look. You got more than one look here. You got multiple different guns, that you didn't get in the first one. Yeah, like that one. That one looks beautiful.
Well, and then the one here on his hip.
Yeah. You see how it kind of has like the sling look. It's kind of hanging off of his body, but yet you can still have the pistols. And then you have that other bag with all the bombs on there too. So I really, really love what Hot Toys is doing in present day, I should say, because even though it's not something that is the big three in mainstream, that's what makes this so appealing to me.
Sure.
So I'm very happy that, people are getting a shot at this. And, like I said, collecting is a very funny journey. Like, you mentioned before, Brick, where, I knew about these movies, and I always knew about these movies, but I just never, for some reason, sat down and took the time to give them a chance. Now this figure in this announcement might push me to do so, and in fact make it a movie that I really love. You know what I mean? So
well, and that's the thing too, is like, you like John Wick. You said you like the Bourne movies.
I love that.
Give one of these James Bond movies a chance. I think you'll have fun. Mission Impossible is another.
Mission Impossible.
It's all in that, man. Yeah. So, which, by the way, I have not seen the last Mission Impossible.
Me neither.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I really do like the fact that, Hot Toys is kind of going outside of the box here, for collectors. And this is a very cool card that they're playing at hand here, because this is opening up the door for a lot of other IPs that, you know, that are yet to be announced. And, you know, I'm just happy for people that are, you know, very fond of the James Bond IP, and this is kind of making it relevant again, you know, whether it's not people that collect or, you know, people do, you know, collect in the community, but I think this is making this IP relevant, you know, in this day and age again, you know. So I'm very happy for that. And me and most likely...
speaking of that though, like with what Hot Toys is doing, I think this is the best year, in my opinion, for Hot Toys since I've known of Hot Toys.
I agree, and I think they get better every year.
Yeah, and the reason that is because we are seeing more kind of like, you know, we're getting Predator back, we're getting Terminator back, we're getting Alien back, we're getting James Bond, we're getting Beetlejuice this year. Like,
who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? Not me. Not me. I mean, we're getting a lot of cool stuff. So it's fun. It's a fun year, and we're still getting our Spider-Mans and Batman announcements and stuff like that. So it's a cool, fun year. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. So for me,
and
like,
we got like Squid Games. Like, who would have thought?
So much crazy shit. But for me, like, all I'm going back to this is that I am an action sci-fi lover, and I always have been. So if I have the chance, such a lover, if I have a chance, I will definitely pick up both looks, but mainly this one for sure. Yeah, I'm picking up both because
a guy who's never seen these movies.
I still need
You're
it.
pulling a moose stream, baby. You're getting it because it's a beautiful looking figure.
It's a figure at the end of the day, and I love collecting and I love the figures. But overall, I know even if I pick these up, it's gonna make me go watch the movies. Like, I'm gonna watch them before.
You gotta do a binge. Casino Royale. You just Quantum Solace.
Absolutely.
Like a week long binge.
Absolutely.
Or 2 week long binge.
I think it's kind of disrespectful for me not even knowing the IP like that, but knowing that he wears a tuxedo. I think it's disrespectful for me to just buy this look. Like, I need the tuxedo look.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it. So
sure. Yeah. All right. Let's if you guys don't have anything else to say about James Bond, let's go ahead and move on to, let's see, who do we got? You know what? It's time for Superman, baby.
Dude, I love the shirts. I was just gonna say, like,
I love your shirt too.
I mean, yeah, but it's not as. I mean, it is very, very
Prime Day
cool.
special from Amazon.
You were not prepared, Flavio.
I wasn't prepared. I don't have my gear up. I don't have my gear up, bro.
It's okay. It's all right.
Soon.
It's all right. Real quick though, before we start talking about Superman, just want you guys to know that there will be no spoilers. We're just giving our thoughts on the movie. So if you're getting ready to see the movie tomorrow, or want to see it sometime soon, or whatever, or not wanting to see it at all, it doesn't matter. We're not going to give any spoilers. We want to have our thoughts. Okay, on the movie. And guys, before we get started, can I just say how crazy I've been with purchasing? Like, I have a cup that lights up.
Me too.
Okay, it's pretty sweet. You got a cup? Oh, you got a little Superman on top?
Yeah, you
sitting on a chair?
He's so cool. He's eating popcorn.
Is he?
Yeah, he's eating popcorn, bro.
Oh my gosh, we are such nerds. What in the world is going on?
Dude's
got a crypto that looks better than Hot Toys. Let's go.
Seriously.
Oh yeah? Hold on. Bam, I'm back in the Funko Pops.
He came out with the funky.
I sent this picture to D-Lo, and D-Lo's like, can nobody get crypto right? He looks like a chihuahua.
He does, yo.
But hold on. Hilarious. I'm not done. I of course have this, which you guys have seen, a little $10 whoop whoop. Okay.
I never seen that.
Is that the McFarlane or no?
No.
That's the DC Direct.
This is like the it comes in a box you find in the toys for kids, the 12-inch.
It's very cool though.
Guys, check this out. Check this out. Okay.
Big screen yourself. Big screen yourself.
Okay. You know what? You're right. I will big screen myself. I've been having so much fun with this movie. I got freaking, almost called him Frodo, but
Frodo.
I know,
Mr. Frodo.
guys,
I
You
don't
wear the
mean
kryptonite,
to.
Mr. Frodo.
guys,
I don't mean to.
I got. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's McFarlane.
Yep.
Oh, bro.
Let's go. I
Keeping
almost
it
got
in
the
the
other
box?
figures too.
Keeping it in the box?
Nah. And then I should have gotten my stuff closer, but I still haven't unboxed this guy yet. Got him.
Dang.
Wow.
Not done.
Dang. He's going all out.
I got this popcorn bucket right here. Oh, but wait.
Damn.
Wow.
I got two.
Yo, that's his piggy bank right
Dude.
now, guys. That's his piggy bank.
Guys, I'm not done.
Yo!
You're gonna need a bigger-
I got milk.
Wow.
bones.
Yo, get out of here, bro. He does have a dog, though. I can confirm.
I got milk bones, baby. Let's go.
That's
Let's
insane.
go.
I didn't even know they did a collaboration, bro.
That's amazing. And yeah, what else? That's it. That's it. I'm sorry.
Your shirt.
My shirt.
Yeah.
My shirt. So if you guys are wondering, am I getting inert? It's very likable. Very likely. But yeah. Oh man. It's been fun. It's been fun. But guys, we got Hot Toys Hotline in the house. Brick wearing the Superman tighty whities off camera. We just
Yes.
well, if you want to come on the show after the show, we can talk a little bit.
Yo,
and you
Connor.
can-
He's the ultimate troll.
No, but if
bro.
you really want to be on the show, man, if not, it's fine. But let me know. I'll send you a link. Talk about some Superman together. Let's see here. Where's your Superman chair? I know, man. Like the Wolfpack's even saying it. Like I'm turning. Guys, this movie very well might be one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. One of them. Okay, like this. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. We got 22 in the house. Hit that like button. I'm gonna be real. I have a family of 3 boys. I have a very lovely, lovely family, a lovely life. Okay, but as a man, I have my times where I need something good, right? I need something to kind of lift me up, have fun, get my mind off of all the BS. And this movie did that for me. It was absolutely pure joy, genius. James Gunn delivered. Like, it was so much fun. If you guys like Christopher Reeve Superman and you guys like the Guardians of the Galaxy, you guys will love Superman. I feel like if you don't like this Superman, that's fine. I'm going to take John Campia's words out of his mouth. You know, movies are art. Okay. Art is subjective. It is okay if people don't like the movie. It is okay if people don't like Man of Steel or the Snyderverse. It's fine. Throw your opinions out there. That's fine. But for me personally, this was one of the best, most well-written comic book movies, at least of my lifetime. And yes, you have Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You know, you have the Dark Knight trilogy. But this by far, and I believe, Adam, we've talked about this too, so I don't want to take your words away, but this is easily the best DC movie since The Dark Knight.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. The way that it was filmed, the way that there would be jokes, yes, but it was perfectly aligned with the movie, and just the timing of the joke just made sense. Crypto was absolutely hilarious. Every time he was on screen, I laughed. You know, Mr. Terrific was terrific, obviously. Like, dude was, I don't want to say he stole the show, but he he was definitely a highlight, a top 3 highlight of that show. He was phenomenal. Lois Lane by far better than Amy Adams in my opinion. I think she is my second favorite Lois Lane. What is the lady's name that played in the original Superman movies, Adam? I know you know.
Margot Kidder.
She's my favorite. She is my favorite Lois Lane. I don't know. It's way too soon to say that David Cornsweet is the best Superman.
Nah, F that, dude. He's the best, bro.
I love Christopher Reeve, but I have to give it a little bit of time. My whole thing is I don't like to base favorites off of nostalgia, right? Like that's my whole thing. I've said this before. I don't want to say, oh, that's my favorite because that's what I grew up with. And that's my, Spider-Man or whatever. If somebody ends up being better than you, thanks to you, you're the GOAT. You're amazing because you kind of kicked it off, and a lot of credit to you. But there is going to be a time where maybe Toby's not the best Spider-Man. Maybe Christopher Reeve is not the best Batman. Maybe Keaton's not the best. I'm sorry, Christopher Reeve's not the best Superman. Maybe Keaton's not the best Batman. Maybe Christian Bale is now the best Batman or something like that. So there's just, it's too soon to say that. I saw the movie last night and I will not say that. However, the more I see this guy, I know I'm going to love him even more. And I kid you not, I had my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old sitting with me. And my 5-year-old was, and this part's on the trailer, where the little kid is putting up the Superman flag and saying Superman, and my son is literally going Superman, like just having a 5-year-old having a good time. My 8-year-old loving it. By the way, my 8-year-old gave it a 9 out of 10. Like, this is a movie for everybody to see, and it's in a time where movies just aren't as good as they used to be. I'll say it. They're just not. Like, Marvel movies aren't as good as they used to be. We don't have the Steven Spielbergs, and sure, we have Nolan, and he's great, but his movies are kind of long and in between, right? Like, we need more of him. But Superman was great, guys. I loved it, and the majority of the people that I have talked to give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And, there are some that I know that didn't like it too much, and that is completely fine. It's a different tone. It's a different feel. And whether it's just needing to get used to it or it's just not your thing, totally understandable. Because that's how I felt with Snyder, right? Like, and that's okay. And I loved Man of Steel. Man of Steel was great. But this movie right here is a 10 out of 10. There is nothing about this movie that I did not like. There's no reason for me personally to give it an 8, 8.5 or whatever. I love this movie. It's a 10 out of 10. I don't give 10s very often with movies. Is it better than Iron Man? I think my first experience with this movie is better than Iron Man, but Iron Man, the more you watch it and what happened since Iron Man with up to Endgame was something we'll never see in cinema again. I don't even think James Gunn's going to be able to pull something off like that. But Iron Man is amazing because of that. I never said Iron Man was like one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite superhero movies when I first saw Iron Man. Does that make sense? Whereas this movie, I'm already feeling that. And it's a very special film. And like it just gets better and better and better. Lex Luthor was Nicholas Hoult. Oh my gosh. Not going to say he's better than Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum's my guy. That's my guy from Smallville, okay? But he's great. It took me about 2 minutes. The first 2 minutes, I was like, I used to this. And then all of a sudden, it was like, this guy is amazing. Like, I get the whole tone, and I'll let you guys talk, but I get the whole tone of the movie. It took me a couple minutes. like, okay, this is what they're doing. They're being dramatic because this is exactly how they talk in animated, cartoons and comic books. Like they're doing that style. Like it really reminded me, I'm watching like an animated movie, like an Invincible or the animated series, or maybe some anime like Hero Academia or something. Like it really felt that way, and I loved it, man. Like Superman was so good, and I'll talk more after you guys, but Adam, I'm gonna let you talk a little bit, man. What did you think, and what was your rating?
I loved it, and I had high up hopes going in. Superman has always been my favorite superhero. I saw Superman the movie in 1978, opening day with my folks. I was in kindergarten. And then opening day, my parents took me to see Superman 2. And I liked Man of Steel a lot. I really liked Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. I think that's a really good film. Not a perfect film. There are things I liked about Batman vs Superman and things I liked about the Snyder Cut. But I think it's an interesting take they did, more adult oriented, and I think there's a place for that. But it's been since 1980, and I saw Superman 2. I've waited for a great Superman film that made me feel like when I had this when I was a kid. This is not the exact figure, because I played the hell out of this
screen
figure.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. Like,
yeah,
this is a Mego figure.
It's in the box and everything.
I got it on eBay because this is a post.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
My dad died, and I need to make myself feel better. Gift for myself.
That's crazy.
That I got. But this, you can see, like, this came out when Superman.
That's
2,
a real grail, like legit. That's a real grail.
So this is a prized possession. I used to love playing with these figures.
That's crazy.
And my
Dude,
first
that's awesome.
1/6 figure.
Old,
So, seeing Superman the movie and Superman 2 and Superman 3 and 4, they weren't great films, but I still watched them over and over again. When I was a kid, they're on HBO all the time, and I watched, and I had the the VHS of it, and we watch it over and over and over again. And then going to the comic book store a couple years later in the 80s and 90s, and John Byrne's, I'm not going to grab it from the wall, but I'm looking at it right now, Man of Steel #1, the John Byrne reboot of Superman that introduced many of the concepts that people have come to, that we saw in Superman, in the Superman movie with Corrance, with the James Gunn film. The concept of Lex Luthor as a corporate titan, not as some arch supervillain, and of Lois knowing Clark's identity. So many of the robots in the Fortress of Solitude, that sort of thing. So that run of comics from John Byrne and Dan Jurgens, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and when I stopped reading comics by and large, I love that run. And this movie made me feel like when I was a kid and I read those comics, and I was middle school. To me, that's a great success. It set up a DC universe that's not a copy of the MCU. It's its own thing, and this is not a spoiler, okay? But the idea of Guy Gardner sitting in a diner and no one bats an eye that it's a superhero having a meal. That sets up that DC universe that we saw in comics. Yeah. There are many things directly from the comics that they did a wonderful job. I think James Gunn he proved his bona fides in the films he's done before, the Suicide Squad, the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I think he did an incredible job with this film. I would give it a 9, and I gave it a 95. You know,
Ooh,
so
95.
to me,
You know,
yeah,
I've
a
been wanting to
9.5.
ask you, Adam. Okay, real quick, I want to say hi to Mike Literis, man. This guy is
Hey, Mike.
amazing. Absolutely love you, bro. Like, Brickyard member and everything. Dude, I need to figure out how to put this into a box. I just want to say thank you one more time. You are the best. But you are my Bizarro, and tonight, you hurt me. You hurt me, man. Anyways, my question to you, Mr. 1Adam12, is: was there anything in the movie, without giving any spoilers, is there any reason why you did not give it a 10?
I need to see it again.
Okay.
To, you know, I think to your question, you know, Flavius, you think it's the you think you said it's your favorite Superman? I mean,
As
for
of
me,
right
it's
now.
it's still Chris Reeve. But
okay.
I am open. I mean, yeah, I have to say, I am someone who's fueled by nostalgia. I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest about it.
That's
But I will make, if like you said, Brick, if someone plays a role and they consistently show that they're superior at that role than the previous iteration, I'll be like, yeah, no, he's better. And I think I loved Keaton. I think Christian Bale was the best Batman I've seen so far. You know, so he's my favorite Batman,
How
Christian
about
Bale.
them apples, Brick?
So
here's my, and that's
I'm willing to give. I think you need to give it more time. I need to see him in more than one movie. But beyond that, I need to see this. Like, I can tell you every line from Superman the movie, Superman 2, Superman 3.
Wow.
I can just sit there and watch it. I can
Superman 3.
and that movie stinks.
Yeah.
Superman 4, that movie really stinks. I still know those lines.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
what
need
you call
to see
a real
this movie.
fan.
Even I've seen Man of Steel many times. I'm starting to, not as much as the other films, but I know some of the dialogue. I need to see this movie more. And so that's, and then I'd say the only other the actress who played Ma Kent, I like Pa Kent. The actress who played Ma Kent, I just didn't do it for me compared to some other Ma Kents. It's a very minor quibble. Very minor.
I loved though how they, and James Gunn has spoke of this in interviews before the movie released. He was going for, the areas that he grew up in Missouri, that old town kind of farm feel. So I love that. I love that they're not aging Hollywood stars.
Yes.
They are like your typical, like, just farmers. And I absolutely love that. But I will say too, like, I get what you're saying about Ma Kent. I get it.
I would say that their depiction is pretty consistent with the John Byrne depiction in the comics. And, I think that's comic accurate. I think I mean, I think it was, I didn't have any issue with their depiction. Just maybe her voice or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very minor. I got to see this again. Just
I want to see it again too, because I'm not going to be watching it and be like, I can just sit down and enjoy it now that I know I love it. Where I'm not being so judgy, even though it was like, wow, this is great.
I think just to close here, there have been a lot of comic book films post 9/11 that have been, maybe the writers didn't consciously think about this, maybe it was unconscious, but a lot of cinema has been a reaction to September 11th 2001. And you kind of have a little bit of that in this film, but it's a little darker in tone. The MCU not as much, but certainly the DC films post 9/11 have been a darker tone, and this film kind of goes a different direction, and I think it's a good change of pace.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is my wife gave it. Actually, I don't know what my wife gave it. But like somebody who says this movie is good and they enjoy the movie, right? And had a lot of fun and was laughing. And a lot of people out there too in the community. It's a great start to what we have because it is going to hopefully be a long journey. Like, let's be real. Rotten Tomatoes score, the critic scores in the 80s, the audience scores in the 90s. Like, yes, it's going down a little bit, and it will, just like every single movie. But the fact that the critic score started with 100 reviews, started at like 91%, that's awesome. It's breaking records for audience scores for all DC movies. Like, it's amazing. And so that just says that a lot of people like this film. And I feel I totally understand why people didn't like it, because again, it's totally different and it's not for everybody. It's not.
Understand.
But I totally, but that style is for me. And I think it is for, obviously, because of the scores, right? Obviously, it's for a lot of people. Okay. I would say the majority of people love that kind of tone and style. And I cannot wait to see, because James Gunn himself has said that future movies, they're all going to be different. They're going to have different tones. They're going to look different. They're going to feel different, because he wants it to be like comic books. In comics, you have different artists, you have different writers. He doesn't want every movie to feel the same. And that's what I'm so excited for Supergirl in 2026. I'm excited for Clayface. That's going to be more probably like a horror film. I'm excited for Lanterns to come on HBO Max, and then you have Peacemaker, and like there's just Batman. What is Batman going to be like in this world, in this universe? Like
gray and blue, baby.
Oh, it better be gray and blue. Man, it better be blue and gray. I'd be so happy. But, how is that going to be? In this type of universe. I'm so excited to see what we're getting. Whether you like it or not, I still think, like, if I didn't like it, I would still be kind of excited, because there's a lot of DC content ahead of us, because the movie did well, and, we're going to get some more of it, and that's exciting. So, and maybe down the road, people will go back to this movie and be like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's actually pretty cool now that I know like where it's all going. Flavio, you may take the stage, sir.
Man, bro. It's crazy that, we were talking about this for months, bro. Months. Like, just the original, like, movie title logo, just speculating. Like, me and you spent a lot of conversations about this off camera. And just to finally... And on. Yeah. And just finally to be at the finish line here, at the box office, and I just have goosebumps, bro. Like, just finally being able to, experience what we experienced within the past, couple days. So I want to just start off by saying, and I'm gonna be the first one to say it for myself, so nobody could be like, we're calling bluff and this and that. I'm an MCU guy. I've always told you that. I've always loved Marvel more than DC. That's just where my upbringing and, my roots come from. Marvel, X-Men. I like DC. Don't get me wrong. But I've never gravitated to them as much as I did MCU. And I think it's because, they lacked in the sense of in the box office. I feel like, when it came to DC, they had a lot of great characters, but they were not portrayed properly. I always loved DC when it came to the animated stuff. I always loved DC when it came to, video games. But when it came to the box office, they just lost me. Now, with that being said, I love Henry Cavill. I loved what he did with the Snyderverse and stuff to an extent, because that's all I knew. I didn't know about DC as much as I know about Marvel. But with that being said, this movie and David Cornsweet, for me, at this very moment, is my Superman. Definitively. Period. I don't care if I'm...
One movie.
I don't even... Bro, I'm going to just say it just off of the experience. The experience that I had in the movie theater.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
I'm not even talking about the movie. Just the fact of, me talking about it with my friend and him hyping me up.
That goes a long way, man. You go, I get that.
We talked about it, and just at first I was kind of like, nah, Brick is kind of like on his rocker. You know what I mean? He's really giving them so much credit. But I freaking love this movie, bro. And I'm proud to say it. At one point, I just always never even cared about DC. I was just like, they're garbage. They're pure garbage. They can't meet the mark in the box office. But with this movie, I don't feel that much. I still love Marvel, but at this point, I'm kind of looking at it like, damn, they have a really fighting chance here. You know what I mean? And this movie had everything. Yo, Connor, get out of here. I like the pun, but I love it, man. I love it. And I don't know if I'm just being so over the top right now because it's early on and, this movie might, age wrong. But for me, I loved everything about it. You know what I mean? Being spoiler free as much as I can. But I love the actor. I love David Cornsweet. I love Henry Cavill. I love, what he did being in the role. And right before this movie, definitively, he was the Superman for me. Granted, Superman was never my favorite character ever. Even still. But I love Batman. I love the Joker. I love, certain characters from DC. But at this very point, I really feel like I want to go back and delve into the history of Superman just off of this movie. Because, I always looked at him like he's too perfect. He's that character that there's nothing cool about him because he's just OP. He's super impossible. He's Superman. It's in his name. Nothing can beat him. But just watching the movie gave me so much joy. Just being a fan of cinematography, being a fan of, the way that movies are directed, the set dressing, the outfits, just the way. One thing that we talked about too, right before we got on here, earlier on today, right after I seen the film, because I watched it today, so it's so fresh for me. I just couldn't believe how bright the movie was.
Sure.
When it came to colors. And that's one thing that really gets me when I watch a movie. Just being drawn into the way that, the director, portrays the universe. And, I recently found out today, because I'm just so tantalized by what I seen, a lot of the stuff that was done, might have been CGI, but at the same time, it was a lot of natural shots. And, James Gunn, he used a specific lens that came in 3 different apertures. And then also on a red camera, on a widescreen red camera, to get a lot of those shots to look very crisp and beautiful. especially for the flight scenes and stuff like that.
Speaking of that, real quick. So in the movie, no spoilers. Don't worry. This is in the trailer. That flight scene where everybody started talking crap about his eyes. Okay, I thought they took that out of there, but I guess they didn't because it was still in there. No spoilers. It's not a spoiler, I don't think. But when I'm watching that full scene, if I was flying at like 1,000 miles an hour, my eyes would look kind of fucked up too.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, I'm glad that you said that because
like the wind is pushing against you, and it just looked, when you're actually watching the full movie and not just a quick clip of the trailer, it just makes so much sense because you're flying so dang fast in the ice cold, mind you.
Right.
Like it made sense to me. I was like, wow, looks good.
Yo, and I'm glad that you said that. What's the dude's name from Thunderbolts? The gold dude?
Bob? Sentry?
Sentry. So
Dude, you said Thunderbolts, and I started thinking of Fantastic Four for some reason. Yeah, Thunderbolts. Got it.
That's one thing that James Gunn mentioned too, as making this film, that it was kind of like a hard thing to kind of like portray with Sentry, you know, with previous movies like that, with getting a character that's flying at, you know, speeds like that in the wind, and to be able to portray that to, you know, the viewers.
It's just like what they do with Godzilla. Like these big monster movies, like even though they're bigger and they can get from place to place a lot faster, their big legs and arms take so much, like they look like they're going in slow motion,
right?
Because they're going across like multiple, you know, streets,
right?
And with one step, like it's got to look like that.
And just the fact that the way that he sold little things like that, like just the hair flying in the wind while he's flying, you know what I mean? Like as a viewer, you really take all that little stuff in. And, you know, for me, I love the movie so much. You know what I mean? I just came out of that movie today. And, you know, I can't say nothing but great things. You asked me, you know, how did I think about the movie? I loved it. You know, my ranking for it might be a little bit, you know, over the top for some people. You know, Connor
not at all,
might
man.
be,
This is
Connor
your
might be
ranking.
a little
This
bit
is
upset.
your.
But
Connor loved it. You gave it like what, a 9.5? He loved it.
I gave it an 11 out of 10, bro. Like, and I'm not even a Superman
That's
fan.
a little
Like,
overboard, man.
that's a little overboard. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. But you know, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Like, it literally gives me tears of joy.
I
to
teared
know
up
that,
twice in this movie. Twice, maybe 3 times, but for sure twice.
But dude,
This-
like,
yeah.
DC is here. Like, they're here. Like, as long
You
as
ever tear up in a movie theater and like you're afraid whoever's with you is gonna look over at you and be like, "You little bitch."
never. But
Like I'm like,
I did that in Endgame, and me and my wife, like, I was crying, and like not tears, like I was crying, and I looked over at my wife, and she was crying too.
Oh,
so
there
that's
you
when
go.
I knew I was like, holy crap!
You
Like,
know
this
what
is for real.
You know what I love about this movie though, guys, is I know a lot of people have been saying like Mr. Terrific steals the show or Crypto. Like every character in this movie, side character, main character, had a scene where they stole the show.
Yes.
You think of any character
Guy
in this movie
Gardner
right now? Yeah,
Metamorpho.
like Hawk
Jimmy
Girl,
Olsen.
like everybody had a
Even
moment.
Lex.
Oh yeah,
Eve Tessmacher. Miss Tessmacher.
yes. Like, dude, even the dang robots. Like,
Yep. Paw Kent.
like, yeah, like this, like the first time
Ma
I
Kent.
think, the first movie I think that I've ever seen where every character had a scene that they just stole the show. It's like, wow, whoa, oh man, that character, like it was just very,
Bro,
very
I
well done.
just, you know, it's crazy because before the whole movie and everything, the rollout, the red carpet, I was like, nah, Henry Cavill's that dude, bro. Like, it's just not gonna
Henry
happen.
Cavill had the look. He was a great Superman.
But it's not the same feeling. Like, my
the
biggest. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think yes, Henry Cavill was an amazing Superman, And I think he could play Superman in any of these other Superman movies and kill it. Like he's phenomenal.
Right.
What killed that though was, in my opinion, of course, everybody's different, but for me, what hurt that was the tone. And all the shitty movies that came after that. Because Man of Steel was awesome. Wonder Woman, in my opinion, was great. BVS had some good scenes. I enjoyed Aquaman, but like when you're getting bad ratings and you re-release Justice League with the Snyder Cut, you re-release BVS and have a theatrical version and a director's cut, and you do two versions of Suicide Squad because the first one kind of stunk, and you're killing it, man. Like in a bad way, you're killing your films. And it had to be rebooted. Unfortunately for Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, like these great actors that did a great portrayal. But when you get an actor like David Cornsweet to play Superman, who fit the role very well, and you put him in a world like this, and hopefully it doesn't go downhill from here. Because I felt this way with Man of Steel at first. I was like, this is a great movie. I didn't give Man of Steel a 10, but I loved that movie, especially when it first came out, and that just can't happen again. But real quick, I want to get to this comment. Secret Dance Move saying, unfortunately, there's a big backlash against superhero films right now amongst reviewers. Fatigue set in a few years ago. And I know some people don't believe in this fatigue. I believe it's true, but I also believe that speaking of reviewers, if you are not a fan of superhero movies, do not review them. Don't review them.
Shouldn't watch them either.
Like, if I'm not a fan of chick flicks, I'm not going to review chick flicks just to make the score crap. Like, okay, we know you don't like superhero films. Don't say, oh, this world is just... I'm like, there's a review on Rotten Tomatoes that literally says, I'm getting tired of superhero films. So that's why you give it a bad rating? Like, that's not fair. Yeah.
Let me finish though. But like,
I got you.
I'm not really trying to glaze the bro, but like, I can't believe my eyes what I seen, bro. Like, it's just so good, and I feel like everybody deserves to go and experience that film in theater. You know what I mean? It's a different feeling when you go out to a theater versus watching it at home. And I think that, they really, really brought it back. And I know that's why I said that, Connor, because I know you think that I'm glazing that jump. But, bro, I'm really, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I really want to figure out when the next showing is so that I can find a ticket to go and watch it, because I really want to watch it a second time. Like Brick was saying, I was watching it kind of with laser eyes, and I was like, oh my god, the suit, in our Hot Toys, who's more accurate, what happened here, what happened there, me not knowing. But I loved every part about the movie.
Yeah,
I cannot stress that enough. And the dude did so good. The one thing that I could say is that I never noticed, and I always was like, bro, he's such a loser, as a superhero. He's lame. He's just too perfect. But I never realized it until now. He's for the people, bro. He's for the world, planet Earth. This man literally doesn't want nothing bad to happen to us. And in this day and age, releasing this movie, this is what the world needs, unity, bro. And, I really do appreciate, you giving me insight on you should give it a chance. I think it's going to be a good movie, because it gave me an open eye, to think about, the movie is going to be good, So I went in there thinking all right, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to somewhat like the movie, and I'm going to appreciate what it is, but I don't know if DC's actually going to hit the mark. When I got out of the movie, I'm like, bro, I'm somewhat a super DC fan, and that's crazy as shit to me right now, because I was so happy. Look at me, I got my cup, bro.
I did not think you would ever get cups,
I got
Guys,
the
if you guys don't
bucket.
believe this dude, when we were first, we've been talking about this for, oh my gosh,
I'm
dude,
happy,
you went
bro. I'm
crazy
happy
too.
with the movie.
But yeah, I remember when we were first talking about this, when they had the first look, right? When he's like putting his boot on in the chair and stuff. And how many people
I told you that was
talk
trash.
so
I told
much
you it was
shit
trash.
about that oh my gosh, his suit, and oh my gosh, this looks so bad, and oh no, it looks like Guardians in the Galaxy behind. Like, this is, and even with all that, this movie turned out, for the most part, for the majority of people, turned out great. Including you.
James
Your
Gunn got
mind
that.
has changed because you were, and it's fine, it's not a diss, you were one of those people. You're like, this is Superman's
I'll
not for
admit
me.
it.
And
I'll
yeah,
admit it, bro.
you
Like,
already
literally,
admitted it.
Man of
Yeah.
Steel and like Henry Cavill was the guy. Like, until today. Like, I still like. And don't get me wrong. Like, I love Henry Cavill and everything that he did like during the movies. But like, looking back at it, I don't understand why it was so like menacing. Like, I love the fact that it was like very bright in this movie, and it makes more sense. It feels bright, like more right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let me just say, I think there's two.
Am I
I think
glazing?
this is
Like, am I
this-
glazing right now?
This is a different approach.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I
You're fine.
think if you look at the Snyder films, Man of Steel, and I love Man of Steel, but what Man of Steel's take is, what if Superman existed in the real world, the world we live in right now?
Sure.
What would the ramifications be on government, on religion, on politics, on every facet of our lives? And I think they showed that pretty successfully in Man of Steel, and even in Batman versus Superman, the director's cut. The Gun film, you wouldn't have Crypto, a superpowered dog, in the Snyder films. You wouldn't have a pocket universe or an interdimensional imp. Because, and if you did, you'd have to spend some time explaining it. There's no explanation in the Superman. It just is. It's like, yeah, it's the world we live in. And I think you can have both takes and are completely valid. I think the Snyderverse films have a lot to like. But I do, my preference was what we just saw in the Gun film, because that captures the animated series Superman and the comic Superman that I grew up with. But, it's like an Elseworlds take. I do like there's a place for the darker Superman.
Yeah.
Right. And, the last thing that I'm going to say is, like, I always knew I was going to get the figure. Like, that was the biggest question. Like, are we going to get the figure if the movie's good or not? Or are we just going to, pass on it? Like, I always was going to get the figure, but, like, now the figure means so much to me. Like, I really, really love the movie, bro. And I guess you could say, like, I'm one of those people that I really love the experience of being in a movie theater. Like, seriously, like, cinematography is one of my, biggest things. Like, let alone, like, if that was a hobby that I could partake in, like, being a movie maker or something like that, like, that's always something that I've always wanted to do, like, behind the scenes stuff, shit like that. So, like, I really love movies as a whole. It doesn't matter what the genre is, but, like, legit, like, I really enjoyed the movie. And also, too, I never mentioned this, my wife, the whole time, I was like, all right, babe, we're gonna go watch, Superman. And the first time I told her, she was like, really? Like, it's not a Marvel movie. Like, I don't know anything about it. And I told her, I was like, dude, like, I don't either, babe. Like, I don't know too much about it. Like, all I can tell you is, like, Lois Lane, like, he's Clark Kent by day, you know what I mean? He switches out, he's Superman, but we're gonna give it a chance, like, we don't really know too much about it. She walked out of there, Brick, and I asked her, "What'd you think about the movie?" And she was like, "It was awesome. Like it was good."
Yeah,
And I told her,
that's awesome.
What'd you rate it though?" She gave
Yeah.
it an 8 out of 10. And this is a
Wow.
chick that never has really watched.
Yeah.
She never watched a DC or Superman movie before this. I lie. She watched Joker and stuff like that and the Batman movies, but
Sure.
she never watched a Superman movie before this.
Yeah.
And she gave it that. Like, so that
Wow.
tells me that
That's
the
cool.
movie is great, bro. Like, for real.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
awesome.
the movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I'm gonna read through some of these comments. We're getting a lot of them. We're getting kind of behind. We got 28 in the house. Make sure to hit that like button on your way in or way out. Just talking about some Superman. We are going to talk about the Superman figures as well after we talk about the movie here. But Hot Toys Hotline, I like this comment. Yeah, but like, for example, Corn Sweat wouldn't work in BVS film, in my opinion. It's very true, in my opinion as well. So I'm glad we got that from Snyder, something I always wanted to see on the big screen. And that is a very fair point. You know, I am glad that we got that, you know, that tone of Superman on the big screen. I am glad that Cavill came into, you know, the DCEU and killed it as Superman. I'm glad we have that interpretation. And I agree. I don't think Corn Sweat could play that role. Let's see here. Thanks, man. I didn't even expect to like this movie. I went in fresh, though, without any prejudice, and ended up loving it, said Secret Dance Move. Hot Toys Hotline saying, after one movie? Damn.
Hey, well,
Oh,
my
man.
thing is that I know that he's going to continue and make great movies,
Yeah.
too. So, like, that's the only reason that I say that.
Yep. What's up, bro? Man of Steel is better. Bro is high. Yeah, well,
Wow.
very possible. Hotline saying, wow, dumping someone you love that fast. Some lover you are.
Yo, hey, but I still love Tobey Maguire. Leave me alone, bro.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you've been with a girl for so long, and then somebody's like, hey, you want my number? And you're like, oh, I can do better. Okay. All right. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that good. ESV saying, I like the movie. However, I am really, really looking forward to picking up the figures. Great looking figures, Hot Toys and NR. Yeah, we're going to get into those. I am super excited to talk about that. I think they both look good. They both also have their flaws. We'll get into that.
Yo, one last thing before you continue,
yeah.
bro. Like, I think I'm having a midlife crisis too, but like, I'm gonna really have to refrain myself from buying the Steelbook DVD of this because, like, I really love the movie that much that I feel like I want to do that, but I don't even buy DVDs. Like, we're living in a world of streaming services, but like, yo, like, I got all the memorabilia, bro. Like, am I a Superman fan, bro? Like, yeah.
I've never seen you do this with any movie.
Bro, I might. No, I'm not high, bro. Like, I've taken a
Are you going to
break,
do
but,
this
like,
with Fantastic Four?
I don't know. That's why I'm so scared, bro, because I thought they had it in the bag, but I don't know. Like,
Just time
for
out,
real.
time out real quick. Guys, we just had a very, very, and we're still in the weekend.
Yo, this is
A very good
crazy
movie
right
come
now.
out this weekend. We still have in a couple weeks Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Like, this
and I
is
got my tickets for that
July
already, too.
2025. It's great. So
Yo, I'm not gonna tell nobody, but I'm gonna try to find a way to go rewatch this movie by myself, even if my girl doesn't want to go.
I was
But
thinking about doing the same.
I might go by myself,
You
bro.
know-
But
you
don't
know
judge
why,
me.
You know why though? Because of what Hot Toys Hotline said right here. I really loved the music. The music.
John
was great.
Williams, baby. John Williams.
Dude. Well, James Gunn just really knows how to and when to put in certain songs. Like, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's
Yo,
so
they're
good
calling
with
me a
all
He's
of
the
his
master of the
bro.
needle drop. 100%.
Yeah, not just Guardians either. Like, all of his films that he does, like, the music is
Bro, they're
Great.
calling me a fanboy, bro. Like, that should be you tonight, bro.
It's
And
fine.
I really
It's
love the
fine.
movie. Like,
be a fanboy.
We've all fanboys in this one. So what?
yo,
It's
and you know
okay.
what's crazy? I don't even have the shirt yet, but I told my girl I gotta get the shirt. Like,
You have to now,
have the
bro.
Superman
You-
gear, bro. Like, I'm a
You
Superman
failed.
dude right now.
Hold on. You failed. Okay. You know what? I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you something right now. When it comes to the
What?
Superman shirt, like,
What are you waiting for?
You got to get the dang shirt, man.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. By the next stream, you'll see how.
This guy cannot be a fanboy until he gets a shirt, like us.
Say less.
Okay, fanboys. Hey, it's all good. Let's see here. I lost where I was. Here we go. Jedi saying, I enjoyed the movie. It was fun, but didn't feel masterful or memorable. I had a handful of issues with it, but was fun. See, okay, so here's the thing.
I saw him say that too.
Jedi, I love you. But
go ahead. Before I even seen the movie.
I know this guy, and I'm not calling him out or anything. I'm not trying to. Hopefully it doesn't come off as that. I know this guy very, very well. He's sort of kind of my neighbor. Okay.
Sort of kind of.
I remember his thoughts and feelings on BVS after the first time he saw that. And he loves it now. So I think that with the change of tone and how everything is just kind of just out of nowhere, and not just Jedi, and I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but I do feel like some people, maybe you just got to watch it again, or because he liked the movie. He said he liked the movie. It was fun. But I think when the DCU goes further in and you start meeting new characters and you see Superman again and you go back and watch this movie and you understand the tone and everything, just like with BVS, just like with Man of Steel, with a lot of us, not just Jedi, but you grow to love those films. Sometimes it's not that first watch. But yeah,
I was just gonna say, like, I seen his post and I saw him say that, and I was like, oh my god, the movie is so bad, like I don't even know what's gonna happen. And in the back of my head, I was like, maybe he's just like over the top right now, but we're gonna have a fucking Superman marathon when I go out to Wisconsin. I know we're gonna turn him eventually. It'll take time, but we're gonna turn him.
He said he liked it.
Yeah, but he's gotta love it, bro. Like, I love the movie.
Yeah, he's gotta love it. Secret Dance Move saying Corn Sweat instilled a sense of childlike wonder in Superman 100%, and that is why I loved this. They humanized Superman, yes, in this movie, and showed he's just like us all, with conflicts and trying to understand what being a good human is. This is why this movie is a 10 out of 10 for me, because of that. That is right there. That right there. You said it for me better than I could. The score was the best part. Yeah, score is awesome.
Yeah, John Williams.
And they did a great job of repurposing that John Williams.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they could have just done the whole score again, but they did it. They kind of modernized a bit, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
So good, bro. It gives me goosebumps, bro. Like
32 in the house. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. And if you haven't yet, comment down what you thought about the movie, without any spoilers, of course. My biggest knock is the lack of character development, leading to a lack of gravitas. See, you guys are smart. You guys must have gone to college. No, I'm just kidding. What is gravitas?
Like, like impactfulness, like
okay, yeah,
building up the build up.
See, I just double checking. I
get what he's saying, but I think that they're saving that for something like the movie. It's the first one, bro. Like, there's gonna be more movies.
I think they also I think they also wanted to make it its own movie. Right.
Well, Superman had a character arc. There's no question from the beginning of that movie to the end. He had a character arc. And he's the main character in that. I think some people maybe, how do I say this? There's a term like, is it in media res? It kind of begins in the middle of something, almost like Raiders of the Lost Ark or the Indiana Jones or sometimes James Bond movies. You're like beginning at the end of another film that you're not seeing.
Sure.
And this kind of is like that.
Yeah. See, Jedi in ESV, like, also felt like Superman was outshined by others. This is what I loved about it. Like, yes, it's called Superman, and there were times where Mr. Terrific outshined and stole the show. And like we talked about earlier, Crypto stole the show, Jimmy Olsen. But every character in this movie stole the show and had a moment. And that is what made this movie so good for me. Like, there's just so many reasons, like even cameos, right?
Yeah.
No spoilers, but even the cameos, whoever that cameo was, stole
Bro,
the show
Crypto
for that
was
moment.
that guy
Yeah.
too, bro. Like, I want a dog that looks that cute.
Yeah, Crypto was cute, man. I want a Crypto.
I'll give it to you, Connor, though. Hawk Girl, like, she kind of was like lackluster, but
Nah, bro.
she was still
Hawk
dope,
Girl,
though. Like, she was still
Hawk
dope.
Girl, she would, compared to everybody else, yes, a little lackluster, but
Right,
she
right.
still had a moment. She was still badass looking. She looked way better in the movie than she did in the still photos.
Right.
The still
Yes,
photos,
I
like,
agree.
I don't know if I like the costume, man, but seeing her in the movie, it looked good. And
Part of the same cloth.
I'd
Yeah.
say she was fine. She wasn't, offensive or annoying or anything like that. I think.
Yeah.
I think the other characters were developed more than her, but she was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'd like to see more of her.
Yeah, and you guys got to realize too, like, they are making the Lanterns show for HBO Max. We're gonna see more of Guy Gardner. Like we're gonna. These characters are coming back. This is the introduction. I don't know, man. It was great, but again, I totally understand where you guys are coming from too. Superman has a huge character development and story arc in the movie. Not sure what you were watching. Yeah, no. Let's see here. Yeah, not Superman, but other characters. Yeah, I get that, Jedi. I get that. Okay, let's see here. The Figure Menace, what is up? Corn Sweat and Reeve played both Superman and Clark Kent at an amazingly high level. Cavill's take for me on Clark Kent doesn't work for me. Okay.
Well, Clark Kent, yeah. I mean, they didn't really have much focus
On Clark, yeah.
the reporter Clark Kent.
Sure.
I mean, in Man of Steel, he was Clark Superman, but Clark was an intrinsic part of his character. But the reporter Clark Kent in Batman versus Superman, you had a little bit of that, certainly.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he wasn't. He wasn't a different type of character. The disguise, I guess, as
for
you have in,
for me and Man of Steel, it was Amy Adams as Lois that hurt me the most. If anything, I don't dislike Amy Adams. I just didn't. She was not in my opinion, I got to say that, a very good Lois. She felt more like an April O'Neil or something. Like, I don't know. She didn't work for me. ESV, I enjoy the background Superman. It would develop a closeness on seeing his growth from Crypto to present stage. Another 30 to 40 minutes developing an attachment to the characters. Yeah. And we might get that. We might get that in the future. Definitely.
It might be in a director's cut. That may have, I think there was more things in this film that was trimmed down.
Yeah, it could be in the director's cut. But I can't say it. I can't say it. It might be a spoiler. Let's see. Secret Dance. Yeah, but those characters will be explored in their own shows. Exactly. 100% Brick. The talk of too many characters to me doesn't make sense when they all get a moment and are perfectly cast. They really, man. Guy Gardner was perfectly cast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He was funny.
Man.
He was dope.
Let's see here. Guys are kind of talking amongst each other right now.
Bro, I told my girl I'm a whistle like him in the supermarket.
Johnny Dome has a comment that I totally agree with.
Okay. Let me get to that real quick. But
And
Cavill would have had the chance if Man of Steel 2 got greenlit.
I agree. Totally
and
agree.
It should have been greenlit. We should have gotten a Man of Steel 2. We should have gotten a Batman.
Christopher McQuarrie, who's done a lot of Tom Cruise films, he wrote a script and he gave some of the story points on some stream, and it sounded really good. But the knuckleheads from WB said no.
Flavio is so hyped right now.
Damn, I'm glazing like that, bro. Like, I really gotta have
dude, it's okay, man.
I'm drinking too. Like, remind me, like,
you got
tomorrow
the wine, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna be like, damn, I regret that
I
shit.
just
Nah.
noticed you were drinking some wine.
Nah, I'm not, bro. Like, I really do love this shit. Like, bro, I got my shit, bro. Like, I'm a Superman fan, baby.
Dude, Superman got me back on Funkos, so
Like, Graham, like,
there you go.
bro, like, recognize, bro. Like, Henry
Recognize.
Cavill, like, he was cool, like, maybe Warhammer type shit, or, like, The Witcher, bro, but he needs to chill out. Like, he needs to sit back, bro. Like, Corn Feet, Corn Sweat is that guy right now.
Is that guy?
Hey, yo, I'm gonna go watch that movie again, bro.
I saw a comment here. Oh yeah, who on the panel? I have it up. Who on the panel is buying Hot Toys and in-art figures?
All right. Okay, you got me there.
We'll talk about it more later. We'll talk about this soon. Let's see here. Valkyrie's buying Hot Toys. Let's see. Hot Toys Hotline saying, I'm very hyped too. Like I said, absolutely love the film, but y'all are slandering my... What? Dude.
Bro, I love Cavill.
Bro,
like, I literally was
we're saying
defending
how
Joe
awesome
last
said we liked
night.
Cavill
him.
has been. Okay.
Yeah.
I like this movie.
We all
better
said we
than Man
liked
Steel.
liked or loved that movie.
Yeah, no, I love, and I even love the suit. Like, I love the way the suit looks without the trunks. Like,
I didn't like
you
the
know,
suit, but I love Cavill.
no, I do. I love
I'm
the
saying
suit.
I personally didn't. I never. And this is like back when everyone else didn't like the suit, and then all of a sudden did. Like a year later, like I stuck kind of with that. Like I never really. I like the traditional stuff. That's just
Right.
me.
And that's my thing. Don't
and
listen
that's
to what
fine
I'm
if-
really saying.
yeah.
Because I'm not too much of the Superman fan. Like, I don't know all the lore like you guys do, but I do love like what I experienced. Like, I love the movie and everything, you know?
Yeah. I want to read this comment real quick. I didn't want to skip this one, but 100. This was first Superman movie where I actually identified with Superman.
Yeah.
Before we're watching a superhero, but in this movie we're watching a normal man who just happens to have superpowers. I love
Facts.
that. That's a good comment. That's good. And again, a lot of you guys are giving me like, yep, that's why I like it. That's why I like it. Flavio has James Gunn cut off screen in the corner.
Yo, this guy's crazy, bro. Don't listen to him.
Oh my goodness. All right, which comment did you say here? S Beam, what's up, man? Just want to say hi to S Beam real quick. What's
Hey,
up, bro?
S-Beam.
What's up, man?
What's up, Christian? How you doing, man?
Johnny
I-
Dome.
I need to see this movie. I need to see.
Yeah,
F1.
I want to see that as well.
Me too.
That looks
Johnny
really good.
Dome. Johnny Dome. Man, I got way behind. We'll do Johnny Dome's comment, and I got a super chat apparently. All right. Is it toward the?
It's in between
I see.
Jedi
Right
Night's
here?
Watch and Jose. Yeah.
That BVS Jimmy hurt me.
Yeah, I didn't like what they did with him there being a CIA agent and having him like executed. Like
Yeah.
that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, they just there was just things with those movies. I mean, you get a terrible Lex Luthor, you get a terrible Joker, it just goes on and on and on. This movie was meant to be. This Superman was meant to be. It was bound to happen. We got it. I'm happy.
They killed it.
Yeah,
bro,
Lex
for
Luthor.
real, like-
I like Jesse Eisenberg. Very talented
Oh
actor,
yeah.
writer, a very talented director. He just had a movie out that was so good. A Real Pain. Such a good movie. But his Lex Luthor, horrible.
Yeah.
To me, actually, that's the biggest problem with Batman versus Superman. Is that Lex Luthor horrible take?
Yeah, 100%. Valkyrie Magnus with a $5 super chat. I grew up a DC fan, but when my friends introduced me to X-Men comics, I grew to love Marvel. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Cool.
that's awesome. See, I grew up. Thank you, sir. By the way, I grew up when I was little. My first love was Batman. I think when I first watched, I think I saw Batman Returns before I saw Batman. But when I saw those movies, I fell in love with Batman. Animated series, comic books, toys. Then there was Batman Forever. And when you're a kid, it's a cool movie. Batman and Robin. Like, it was fun growing up in those times. And during those times, I love Spider-Man, the animated series and everything. But when that Spider-Man movie first came out, that I always, again, loved the animated series. But when I saw Spider-Man in what was it, like 2001?
Yes. 2002.
That's my favorite. It's Spider-Man. Will always be number one for me. But thank you, sir. I do want to give you a quick little thank you, and we're gonna do this fun one.
No, you're dead.
Because it makes no sense, and I love it. All right.
He's the best, though. He's the best.
Oh, he is, man. He is. Let's see here. Jedi saying, to be fair, Superman has never been one of my favorite heroes.
And that's me too. I agree with him. You know? But it's crazy. It's crazy how much I liked it.
I love Superman when he's good. You know what I mean? He's just kind of meh when it's not hitting for me. Right? So like I've been kind of MIA for a while with DC because it's been a while since The Dark Knight. It's been a while since a good Superman movie. And Man of Steel was great, actually. But like it's been, Man of Steel came out like 2015, 14, 15, 15, 14.
2012, I think.
20. Oh shit. So longer than that. And since then we got a couple good movies. So DC's just been kind of like, I love it. I love you, but like, come on, let's switch it up. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's see here. SG Collectibles, what is up? I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm a big fan, a DC fan. The only bad thing I have heard about this movie is the jokes they put when there are serious moments or scene. I understand. For me, though, it worked because it felt real. When you have serious moments in life, and when shit's hitting the fan, and all of a sudden crypto is giving you a look, it works because that's what it's so real.
The only thing that I can say about that too is like, you know, I wasn't really too bothered about that because I know how James Gunn is as a director.
Mm-hmm.
So that was warranted.
You go in knowing what you're getting.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We've seen, I mean, you know what you're getting. You know James Gunn. You've seen Suicide Squad. You've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, you might have seen Super, and you might have seen, Peacemaker. You know what you're getting with James Gunn. And then you also know that it's going to be similar to Reeve because you've seen the trailers and you hear the music.
Right.
So you put those two things together, and that's pretty much what you get. And I loved it.
I mean, you had jokes in Superman. I remember sitting with my parents, and even some jokes I didn't get because I was too little. But my parents laughing at many of the jokes in Superman the movie back in 1978.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of Snyder, maybe not Man of Steel, but a lot of Snyderverse movies had a lot of jokes like that too. I mean, you look at Aquaman, you look at Suicide Squad and Shazam, and like, I don't know, just kind of works. Justice League with Jason Momoa, like he's goofy. The Flash, like there was a lot of jokes, but got to keep it fun. Guy and Terrific just outshined her by a lot and were developed much more, in my opinion. Yeah, I think they were developed. Yeah, yes. You do disagree?
No, I said I don't disagree.
No, I don't either. Yeah, I agree with this comment 100%, but she still had her moment. Like I feel like every character had a moment. Right. Let's see. All right, guys. Real quick, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Hey, Mario.
Mr. Mario here. What is up? DC over Marvel any day, said Christian Crosshair Cooper.
Damn, bro. Me and you talk a lot, bro. I didn't know that about you, but Marvel all day, baby. Marvel all day.
So, guys, it's fair to say that everybody on the panel loved the movie. Majority of the people in the chat loved the movie or liked it.
Connor loved it the most.
Hey, man, he loved it. He just likes Henry Cavill. That's
He
fine.
gave it a 10 out of 10. That's what he told me.
Ooh. You know, he got me even more pumped for the movie. Because when he saw it on Tuesday, he was like, "Bro, you're gonna love it."
See?
And then Adam
He even told me that he loved it more than Predators.
Adam texted me,
I'm texting you in between.
Awesome.
I'm waiting for the final end credits scene, and I
Dude.
texted you.
Dude, like when I have people like Hotline and then Adam, and then I'm seeing scores from Joey that's a 9, you know, like I'm getting more and more and more and more pumped, and at the same time worried. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go into here being way overhyped, and it's gonna be like, okay, it delivers. I'm so excited for the future of DCU. I'm so excited to see Supergirl next year, Clayface, that horror kind of element, and like I said, lanterns. I gotta watch Peacemaker, guys.
Me too,
I got
bro.
to. And then
when is that coming out? The second season? Does anyone know?
I believe
Soon,
August.
isn't it?
Bro, I gotta watch the first
It
season.
could be sooner than that, but I thought
Oh,
it was,
you haven't seen the first season?
No, I'm horrible. That's what
Oh,
I'm telling
dude, it's
you.
so good.
yeah,
Man.
it's really good. I have not finished it, but what I've seen is really good. I need to watch it. I'm just really excited to have this light of hope in this world, a DC universe where we do have a Crypto, where we do have Supergirl, where we do have multiple Green Lanterns. That's exciting. You know, and then we got Fantastic Four coming out this month. That's exciting to see what's going to be happening with Doctor Doom and a Spider-Man movie coming out. So life is good right now, guys. But going from Superman to Superman, I want to talk about these. I want to talk about these figures a little bit. Okay, and let's start off with Hot Toys. Hot Toys announced a figure July 3rd, I believe, and I think he looks good overall. I don't want to be the first one to talk about this, so I'm gonna let Flavio talk about this figure. I've been talking enough. Mr. Flavio, now that you've seen the movie, does this change your mind on the figure at all? Do you get more excited? How do you feel about this Hot Toys Superman?
I'm glad you asked me if it changed my mind on the figure. So, first off, I just want to say, before I even seeing the movie, I was always going to get the figure. I was going to always get a figure. Let's just put it that way. I always gravitate towards Hot Toys for the majority of purchases. And, you know, it's no shade on InArt. It's just, you know, I'm a Hot Toy shill. And I'm proud to say that. But for the most part, you know, coming out of the gate, you know, Hot Toys announced theirs first, and then, you know, within 24 hours or even that same night, I think we see InArt, you know, announce theirs. So I was like, oh dang, like, you know, Hot Toys is gonna be going through it again, and, you know, have a very divisive community. And as a lot of the facts started coming out, we were like, oh, there's not enough suit texture, the head sculpt is different, it's not right compared to InArts, and, you know, this and that. Bro, let me just tell you right now. After watching the movie, I think the head sculpt, for me, looks so much more accurate than the InArt one. There was a scene in the movie.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm coming out like boom, like there was a scene in the movie, you know, and it's not a spoiler or anything. I'm not gonna really explain or anything, but there was a scene in the movie where I looked at him and he like had that smile like the Hot Toys sculpt does. And I was like, a light bulb, like, holy crap, like that is exactly how he looks, like in the figure format. So for me, I kind of was just like, when I seen the InArt one and then I seen the Hot Toys one, I kind of was like, damn, why does it look like the InArt one looks more accurate? You know what I mean? For like a quick second, I was like, damn, the InArt one doesn't look bad, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. One thing that I will say is that, you know, Hot Toys, it seems like there's a lack of texture in the suit. Now, me and you talked before we even seen the movie, and I was telling you, you know, I have a feeling that it's the promo photos and, you know, the shots that they have taken, it makes it seem like, you know, there's a lack of texture. But if you see the, you know, secret base photos where, you know, a lot of these people have taken pictures of the suit in actual, you know, in the wild, it actually looks like, you know, the bits and the texture, you know, all the line work seems a little bit more raised than what you see in the prototype photos. So, you know, with that being said, you know, you have the Hot Toys one on here. You don't have both, you know. So for me, I like the price of the Hot Toys one. I like, you know, the offerings that they give. I love the base that Hot Toys gives, you know, compared to the InArt one. I do think that the InArt one seems a lot more realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys were saying.
And I'll bring up the InArt one after this.
Yeah.
And we'll do kind of comparisons, but
right. I think the InArt one, you know, strives for a little bit more realisticness when it comes to the base. I could say that the Hot Toys one is a little bit more toyetic, but I love the execution of the base that Hot Toys has done. They've done a magnetic base where you can have your Superman in a flight pose and you don't have to contend with a pole pegging in the back and there being an inaccurate zipper in the suit. You know, and I really love, you know, what both of them are, you know, bringing to the table. I will say, I think both of them have dialed up the muscular tone to the suit for David Cornsweet. But with that being said, you know, a lot of these actors, they don't really have the physique that we're seeing on screen. So, you know, that hero suit has a lot of the musculature built into the suit itself. So, you know, if it was up to me, I wish both of them would have dialed it back a little bit more in the bicep area. But overall, looking at the head sculpt, you know, the head sculpt was very, you know, like, damn, like, I don't know if InArt has them beat on this one because they were so stark difference. But I really like the way that the Hot Toys one looks now coming out of the theater, you know, I could really see it. And I think they nailed the hair. I think they beat InArt by a mile on the hair. And I think they're going to beat InArt by a mile on the paint applications and the texture on the face, you know. But, you know, where InArt does come in clutch here is with the cape for me. I think when I was watching it on screen, I think Hot Toys lacked in the sense of the texture of the cape and the quality of the cape. I think InArt's cape seems to be a little bit more, you know, velour kind of like fabric or, you know, quality of grain in the fabric. But, you know, one thing that I didn't notice until I watched the movie today was it seems like both of them are inaccurate in the sense of the symbol on the cape is more inset in the movie. It's more of like an embroidered kind of symbol where it seemed like both of them were kind of like screen printed. I could be wrong for InArt's, but it seems like theirs was also kind of screen printed in a way. But I really do love the figure for both companies. You know, I don't think that you'll be going wrong if you pick either one of them. Just me preferably, I feel like, you know, I feel more comfortable with my money and my wallet going towards Hot Toys. You know, again, I'm a shill for Hot Toys. That could be biased, so take that with a grain of salt. but I think both of them crapped on Crypto for what it is. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Crypto was an amazing part in the movie. I think it deserved and deemed a little bit more, you know, care when it came to the sculpt for Crypto. But, you know, looking at this here, the InArt one, you know, I feel like the colors seem a lot more muted compared to the Hot Toys one. Whereas when I'm watching,
they've shown pictures lately that they kind of brightened it up a little bit.
yeah, they
but
did a live stream, which, you know, I've seen the
still-
photos of that.
It's still not like bright.
You see, that scene looks screen printed. The
Yeah, it
cape
did.
on the cape,
Yeah.
it looks screen printed. So I think both of them failed on that. It looked a lot more imprinted in the cape, but you know, the colors here look a lot more muted, bro, compared to the Hot Toys one, which is the one thing that, you know, I really look at. I don't remember him doing that in the movie too.
Yeah,
for the
not
sculpt.
this is not a spoiler at all.
I don't
this
remember
right
Cuz
here-
doing that at all.
this
bro.
right here makes no sense.
I don't remember that at all. So I'm gonna just put that out here right now. That shit is like a cash grab. But you know, they were just trying to put it out there on the plate, like, oh, look at what we could do better than Hot Toys or add more into the product. But you know, that never happened. So
Unless it's from a deleted scene, because remember, these things are, you know,
It's
they meet
possible.
with Warner Brothers a year or two ago.
yeah, if that was the case though, wouldn't Hot Toys have seen that too though?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like they're
Could
more
be.
on the license side, I would feel like. So
I
I feel
just-
like, you know, they wouldn't really have done that. But
The
but
thing
overall,
that gets me though is that texture on the symbol. Now, I will say this.
it did have it though. It did have it, but not that
not
much.
like this though.
Not like that.
And
not
it
like
was
that.
only when they zoomed in on the symbol did you see any kind of texture.
Correct, and that's what I was gonna say.
Because
You-
even if you take a normal picture from far away and you zoomed in on that, it wouldn't be textured. The only time it had
No.
texture is when they zoomed away from the symbol.
right.
And it was nothing like this. Like, yes, there was texture. It was, but it was half of this. You know what
But
I mean?
I don't
Like,
think the head
this
sculpt
is
for
severe.
Inert though. I don't think the head sculpt is like looks more like him now that I'm looking at it, bro. Like I'm
Like this
looking
looks
at
nothing. This looks nothing like him right here.
not
Are these in-art figures in-art pictures actually photos, or are they computer generated?
no, they
animation?
seem like they're photos, but
They don't look like they're photos to me. They look
Yeah.
like it's animation.
I could kind of see where you're saying that, but I think they're
Some of
more
them-
like a dark
Some of them
setting.
look like photos. But
Hey,
a lot
do
of
you
them
guys-
don't
do you
look
guys
they're
see
real
this, though?
photos.
Like just by showing the eyes. Sometimes when you just show the eyes, you kind of like are able to like focus on that more. His eyes look really good.
No, I mean it looks great. Like both
Yeah.
of them look great. Don't get me wrong, but for some reason, the Hot Toys one, when I first seen it before even the InArt one was announced, I was like, his jaw does not look that wide.
Yeah.
But then when I watched the movie, like there's an angle or a certain shot, bro, where he
What's
smiled.
popping, Loco Lou? Just want to
What's
say hi to
poppin'?
him real quick.
What's popping, bro? But there was a shot or a scene where I seen him where he had that smile or that same kind of like happiness on his face, and then the jaw was hitting like that, where I was like, yo, I literally could see why Hot Toys made theirs like that. Like, this does not look like him to me. Like, it looks good, but it doesn't look like him. And don't get me wrong, that the
That
Hot
texture
Toys
is
one,
crazy, man.
the Hot Toys one could, you know, be worked on too. But the texture, my biggest thing is that InArt has never done a rubberized suit. And this is the first one. I can guarantee you the articulation is going to be garbage all around on this figure compared to Hot Toys.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
After-
that I'm going to put out there.
Dude, after seeing the movie, for me, Hot Toys wins. I
Mhm.
agree with you, Flavio. Both of them have issues with being too muscular. Proportions are a little off for both. I think more so maybe with Hot Toys because
Hot Toys,
bigger
yeah,
arms.
a little bulkier.
I think the suit though, which to me is the second most important part other than the sculpt, is the suit. And I think that the suit, other than the trunks, because the trunks look better on InArt, but the
Yes.
symbol, which is extremely important to me, Hot Toys looks better.
Time out here though. Right now that you have this symbol here, I want you to be able to go back to the Hot Toys one, but I can almost bet my bottom dollar that the symbol on the suit was inset on the suit, and here it's over the suit. And I don't remember if Hot Toys. That's why I want you to go back to the Hot Toys.
Hot Toys. It's kind of hard to give me.
It seemed like if you looked at it on the movie, it seemed like it was inset, like it was inside, and the blue was over, like above, more raised.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yep. The thing with the Hot Toys version is there's not enough texture.
But I think it's gonna be there when you get it.
But
in
again,
hand, bro.
this right here.
Do you have a closer picture? Or
I'll probably find one. But I'm just saying, like, for far away, this is exactly what it looked like in the movie.
Yeah, bro.
Let me see if I can get it close. It's hard to get.
They're
close
the gods, bro. Like people.
So this is. I think this is the only one that you can really get close.
Go down. Go down.
Yep.
Even to me, that doesn't even look like how it did in the movie, though.
No.
Like it looked like it was inside. Like you get what I'm saying? Like the blue was pushing out a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just. But to me, Hot Toys, because I'm gonna be posing him like like this, and
I'm having him flying like that.
To me, Hot Toys suit overall just looks better. It's nice. It's nice that InArt gives you multiple capes, and I don't care about the second sculpt because I'm not going to use it.
That's one thing, though. The drape.
But Adam, I want to hear what Adam has to say. I'm sorry, man. What are your thoughts between the two figures?
Well, first of all, I'm waiting for Star Ace.
Hey, you know what? Teach their own.
No way.
I'm joking. Oh, come on. I'm joking. Please.
Some people like Superman Returns. Whatever. Teach their own.
I think, having seen the movie now, it's interesting. When I was watching the movie, I consciously was looking at the suit to say, and in my head, I was thinking, is that more like the Hot Toys or is that more like the InArt suit? And again, this is why I need to see one of the reasons, probably maybe one of the smallest reasons why I need to see the movie again. But it occurred to me while watching it, there was battle damage. It got dirty, dusty. It seems like there were times in the movie where the suit was darker than others. And maybe that's the lighting and the daylight versus.
Sure.
But overall, I think in almost every way, and maybe every way, the Hot Toys version is superior. And that's the one I'm going to get. I think that the head sculpt for the Hot Toys more accurately conveys David Cornsweet in the film and the kind of goofy kind of joy that he had.
It brings
in
that human
role.
side of him, like we were talking about.
Yeah, I think to me, Crypto is a wash. I don't really know one's superior than the other.
Yeah,
they both look. They both maybe the dog tag.
They're worse than this Funko Pop. Let's be real.
Yeah, maybe the dog tag on InArt's a little bit better. It seems like
that I'll give them.
Dangles a little more.
The popcorn bucket looks better than the Hot Toys figure.
These both look similar to. I used to get when Emily was young. She used to collect it was a brand called like from Germany, I think, called Schleich, and they produce plastic animals, dogs,
the animals?
Yeah. That's dinosaurs, and she used to collect those
farm animals and shit.
And they sell for like eight to depending on how what you got, $8 to $20. And she had a ton of them, and this seems like Schleich did crypto. They like Hot Toys and InArt went to them and said, "Hey, give us a crypto." Hot Toys has a long record of doing a bad job with animals. So whatever. The base in Hot Toys figure is definitely better. We'll see how that magnet works. Hopefully that magnet will hold the figure up. We don't know that yet, but I think that's a better base. I think the InArt figure is a beautiful figure, but to me, his serious look the seriousness of his head sculpt and like the closed eyes. That reminds me more of like Cavill's looks.
Oh yeah,
like it's
Right.
like it's like a messianic look that we saw in the Snyder films. And I mean, it's a beautiful figure. If you have that stuff, you're not going to go wrong. You're not going to go wrong. But for me, based on the what to my perception is more accurate representation of Core and Sweat, I'm going with Hot Toys. Couple with that, it's less money. Flavio said this. There's always a little more confidence of how you get your Hot Toys, figures. And then it's no. For me, it's a little bit of an issue that I'll get this before in art. I think there's if past this prologue, there's no question we're gonna get this sooner.
InArts is coming out when the second movie comes out.
I mean, I was talking to Valkyrie.
Yeah, InArt's gonna take a while.
Yeah, he took him 4 years or something to get his InArt Superman, whatever.
And even when it does release, it's gonna take a while for everyone to get it.
I mean,
6 months to a year.
Yeah, you said you're just about to get your Dune Paul Atreides figure. I think Gio's still waiting for his.
I got my Dune. I got it this morning.
And no fault for the vendor here in the United States. This is an issue with InArt. Hear me?
I do now.
Okay. So, I think it's Hot Toys for the win.
Yeah. InArt just takes too long. But this is a determining factor in whether or not I'm going to get two figures or not. If I enjoy unboxing this Paul Atreides, I will consider getting this Superman. I want them both. I need to like the Paul Atreides, and they need to fix the symbol. If they do that, and I like Paul Atreides, I will buy this figure. I want to compare them. I want to like this, but I'm not going to spend $500+ on a figure that
is doo-doo.
And I'm gonna doo-doo is very.
Yeah, that's crazy to be saying. I'll take that.
But there's different styles of people that like Hot Toys over InArt over Hot Toys, and that is okay, guys. Mm-hmm. For me, InArt is just, they're both premium, man. But InArt to me is just more fancy, and that's not a bad word. InArt is very fancy. They get these sculpts. They look more fancy. I don't know a better word for fancy.
More crisp in a way.
More crisp, more statue-like, more something that you would see in a museum.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Me neither.
I don't want that.
I want Hot Toys. I want Hot Toys.
I want all of that, but also, like we've been talking about, comparing these two figures, more like the movie. That's what I want. And that's not to say that they do this all the time, because Harry Potter looks great. Like Lord of the Rings, they all look great, but they also just look, it's very tedious putting everything on, doing, what's that? Oh yeah, the Steelbook.
I
Superman.
might get it, bro.
Yeah,
I might get it.
But it's just not for me. They look great. I love what InArt's doing. We talked so highly about them in the beginning and how they listen to their audience, and I love them and they look great. I've seen them. I got Paul Atreides. I'm a fan, but when it comes to being so tedious with the accessories and stuff, I think I just have to get used to that. And that might be something in a couple of years. I'm like, oh yeah, screw what I said 2 years ago. InArt is amazing. But right now, where I'm at in my collecting, I don't need to like put on, Aragorn's belt and flip over his.
It'll take a half hour to figure that one out.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't need to do all that personally. Again, they look great. Real quick, I want to say hi to a couple of people. First off, we got Figurecraft in the house. Hey, fellas, how are we doing?
Philly.
What's up, man? How you doing? I got to get you on the show one day, man. We don't talk enough.
That'll be dope.
Let's see. We got Blurred Dad Life as well. What is up, man? I appreciate you guys being here on this late Saturday night, just hitting midnight on my end, neck of the woods. Ash J saying InArt's more sexy. They're sexy and they know it. And they know they are. They
Nice.
are. They
Now
really.
it's in our head, that song.
I will say InArt is more sexy. They are. It's just not my style, right? Like I want Hot Toys, and Flavio, you can probably say this better than I can. I want the consistency. Yep. I want not only that, but like I want the line. Okay.
Yeah.
So Superman, I highly doubt InArt will do a Mr. Terrific.
They will not. I can guarantee you they're not going to continue
Hot
the
Toys.
line.
So if I could only get one, I'm going to get Hot Toys because it's going to go with the other line.
They probably don't even have the license to do everybody in the line. They probably
I'm a coffee drinker, and I'm Dunkin' Donuts. Now there's Hot Toys is Dunkin' Donuts. InArt is Starbucks. I don't mess with standing in line to get some mocha, choca, vente.
Some limited
Just give
edition
me.
coffee.
I don't do them. I don't do the fancy words. Just give me the medium coffee with cream and sugar. All right, from Dunkin', and I'm happy.
Now the only thing that I go back to though is that I could tell you, like, I can almost guarantee you that the articulation on the InArt figure is not going to be what a Superman figure should articulate like.
Yeah, Hot Toys.
They're already showing
Hot Toys
it.
will articulate better.
They're already showing it that he can't even look up, bro. Like that's a part in the freaking movie.
Let's
Like
look up. Eyes up here. Okay.
He's looking right at you. Like he's not getting. But the rubber suit, they've never done a rubber suit. That's why they backed out of Black Adam. That's why they backed out of Black Adam. Because of the rubber suit and Hot Toys doing it. They're going to do this suit now. And I guarantee you those shoulders, when you go to right here, is gonna go. Yeah. It's not gonna go up.
We better start talking highly about InArt because we just lost like 6 people. So
well, buy some more Hot Toys. I don't know.
No, again, nothing against InArt.
No shade on anybody, bro. But I'm telling you, like
they look great. I'm excited to unbox my first InArt figure, so I shouldn't be talking yet. I've seen 3 or 4 of these figures in person, but I've never unboxed them. I've held the Joker in person. I've never unboxed one. So I'm going to get that. To be honest, I didn't like unboxing Jack Sparrow. I thought that was a real pain in my ass.
Putting
the
on
Artisan
the things
Jack.
on the belt.
That sucked. And to me, that's going to be a lot like an InArt figure. I did not like that. Yeah. And Nick, welcome, my friend.
Get out of here, dude.
InArt, like, bro, InArt, they look great. Again, now that you just showed up, I'm going to say it again. It's just, and I just got my Paul Atreides. I'm excited. The whole accessorizing thing at the beginning, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to like that. You know what I mean? So
if they were King, they would have had like 30 different figures announced already this year.
They have 30 different figures teased.
Not even, bro. They don't even have nothing released, bro.
I do wish they were faster. I want those Game of Thrones figures, man.
Tell Viper to hurry up. Tell Viper to hurry up.
I want those, and it very well very well may change my mind on everything with this Paul Atreides. I've said in the beginning when I first started collecting and when InArt became a thing, I've always said I would not get an InArt figure if Hot Toys is already doing it for all the reasons that we've been talking about. But I want that Game of Thrones line. I'm interested in Harry Potter. I got this Paul Atreides.
You got to check to see if his legs are longer. One is longer than the other.
Yeah, see, don't jinx me on that.
Just saying, bro.
To Brick's point, the Batman's belt for InArt was a beast to put together. Yeah, and that's what I hear. Let's see. Paul is a great figure. Yeah, I heard nothing but great things. InArt shows Superman is a a prone flying pose with head tilted all the way back. It's not all the way back.
Where? Show me.
Yeah, it's not all the way back. Let's see.
That's as far as it's going right there in that picture, bro.
No, it goes further back. It
has that little like cylindrical piece in it, that foam little round piece for the head sculpt, and it don't go any further, bro.
That's as far back as it goes.
That's it. He's looked up way more than that in the movie.
That's as far as it goes.
Wow. That leaves a lot to be desired.
Like there's no other picture that goes further back than that. Like that.
He looks like gold dust right there.
Yeah. He's looking down there, down. There's no picture. Like this is not real.
Hell no. Get out of here,
way.
bro.
That's no way.
No, get out of here.
No way. That's you can even like come on.
That's crazy, bro.
That's as far up as it goes.
He's
right
like
there. And you can tell the back of the neck too, like it's hitting. It's already hitting right here.
Yeah, you're gonna scratch the paint.
Yep. It doesn't go. Yeah.
Well, now don't get me wrong. I'll say that, Nick. I bet you can pose him to where, you know, you can get it to articulate better than what they're doing, but that's not really how the product is intended to be moved. You're probably gonna push it. You're probably gonna push it to its limits to do that, but
remember this image too. The camera is down. The camera's looking up.
Right.
Yeah. To make it look. Yeah.
And that cape is gonna rip on you guys like the BVS one.
Yeah, both cryptos are bad.
The crypto is doo-doo though.
His ear looks like a feather.
It does look like that though in the movie in some shots though. I mean, Hot Toys, granted, Hot Toys did that too. But bro, they won base for both of them.
No, I know the ear goes like that, but like in this picture, like the detail even looks like the detail of a feather. Yeah. Is what I'm saying.
I'll say that the collar looks better though on InArt. Like they're gonna have that S logo actually dangling. I give them that.
I like that InArt actually gives you shit with their figures. I'll say that. You get an extra pair of boots, you know, and I actually think
but
that
they got to give you that to sell.
I actually think that the base on this figure on InArt is better than Hot Toys. Hot Toys has more to it, but it also looks cheaper. But I personally think that Hot Toys suit is better. I think both head sculpts have issues. They're not perfect. They're both like 8s to me. But I like what you guys were saying, that it captures the movie better with Hot Toys. And I believe that it's 100%. So if I had to choose a sculpt, I would say Hot Toys at this point. Now that I've seen the movie. Before
the colors
I saw,
on InArt look like
I saw the movie,
Superman.
I was saying InArt had a better sculpt. But now that I've seen the movie, I think Hot Toys has a better sculpt.
Well, one positive for the InArt base, it looks like it takes up less real estate.
Absolutely.
Than the Hot Toys.
Less.
And like I'm looking right now, I have the Hot Toys Man of Steel, and I have the Christopher Reeve Hot Toys, and I want to put the Corn Sweat Superman like in between them, or I'm not quite sure how it's gonna be posed, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to. I have the Hot Toys Man of Steel comes with those big. They don't really do them as much anymore. It's a huge Superman S base. I don't think I'm going to be able to use that for the Man of Steel because it takes up space on the shelf. I may just have to use another figure stand for that, so I can fit the Hot Toys base on it. Not a big deal, but I do think for some people, a lot of people, space is a consideration. Just like I ordered. Oh yeah. I have the Hot Toys Indiana Jones, the new one. But I ordered the one that doesn't come up like that base it comes with, where he's like, it looks like he's part of like a bridge or something. That's an awesome base, but it's too tall for my case. So I just ordered the basic version. Same with the Ben Affleck Batman 2.0. I ordered the basic one because it just won't fit.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking at this video. I haven't really watched too much of this. This is Hot Toys,
bro. I'm telling you, watch when they come out, bro.
Bro, this hand This hand right there. Hold on.
He said this hand.
What is this hand right here? The middle
Bro, it
one.
looks like he's about to
That's,
do like the
Looks like he just
fucking
met Scarlett Johansson.
5-finger death punch, bro. He's about to take your heart
That's,
out. He's about to.
All right. No, it looks good. They both look excellent, and you can't go wrong with either, honestly.
That magnet though, boy.
That worries me though,
That's
man.
Is that
the
gonna
dumb-
work?
Bro, look at it. What do you mean?
That-
Is it gonna work? You just saw the dude put it on there, and that shit hang like a coat hanger, bro. Like that shit. Look at him, bro.
Look at that pose though.
Is-
You see that? Look at that.
Yeah,
Yo, that's like
good
a
enough for
round
me.
Earth magnet, bro. That shit's
That's
not
a-
going nowhere.
strong magnet. All right.
Literally.
God willing.
I do worry about the
He
magnet.
said,
pushing-
"God willing."
I do worry about the magnet pushing up against the suit. I do.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
But no, it looks good. Interesting. So guys, real quick, Mr. Nick, show the in-hand pics I sent you. I saw those.
Oh my.
I saw those. And we were kind of talking about that a little bit. Let me see. Let me see here. Put up Instagram on Misa computer. I got nothing from you. I got nothing from you, bro. Lies. Nothing. Do you send it to me on Facebook?
Bro, I want an immediate Hot Toys and in-art comparison the first day this shit comes out, bro. Like,
Yeah.
the first person to do that shit, and I'm literally posting it on everybody's page, bro. Everybody's group. Like, I don't even want to hear it, bro.
Yeah, let me just see if he sent them on Facebook. Nope. I do have pictures though. I'll pull them up right here. If these are the ones you're talking
with
about.
Howard, B. Stop messing with Howard, bro. Because that's when he starts, you know.
Oh, from
It's just-
yesterday. I got you. Okay. Here we go. Let me just pull these up. And yeah, they're updating it, and they will be able to have the time to update it even more. Let me pull it up here. Because Hot Toys is coming out very soon.
Soon,
Toys-
like right now.
Like it's literally July to December. That's just gonna come out like in a couple weeks.
Can you imagine getting
it's-
the NR one in like 2028 and being like, yo,
I mean,
like,
at
this
the
is
earliest,
the best figure
at
right
the
now.
earliest, let's be real. At the earliest, that figure, if we're lucky, could come out and be released. I'm being very generous here because this is not in art form. But at the very earliest, this figure can release at the end of next year.
Bro,
but
we're gonna
nobody-
be talking
but-
about
but hold up,
Batman
but
by the time
nobody-
it comes out.
But nobody will get this figure until the middle of 2027. Right.
Yeah.
So let me present this real quick. Because these pictures do look better, and they're gonna have time.
Nah, it looks
then
better
until-
in that one though, like the live video that they did. I'll give them that.
Hold on. Yeah. I mean, this looks good. I wish I could zoom in on this, but I can't.
See, and it looks brighter there too.
Yeah, they've changed the brightness a little bit, but it still isn't bright enough. But it does look a lot better. These trunks are way better on InArt than Hot Toys. I want to say
I'll
that
give
too.
them that. The InArt one, the InArt trunks look, the undies look better.
Yeah. Yep. I still want them to make the hair a little better. It looks fine, but Hot Toys is better. The cape is better on this. I like this.
Yo, and these people started with the rooting job. Like they fell away from that. Like, what's up? Like you could have gave us a rooted
Right.
Superman, and now you guys.
Hopefully you
are trying
didn't
to
say
do
anything
sculpted
mean to me
shit.
on
Like,
these.
what's good, bro?
Man, I wish I could zoom in. But yeah, it looks good. They still got to fix that texture though, bro. I understand that in the movie when they're zoomed in, we talked about this before you showed up, Nick. When it's zoomed in, there is some texture, but it's not like this. It's not like Cavill. They got to fix that. But it looks good, man. It looks damn good. But again, to me, just more fancy. And this look still makes no sense to me. And why are we seeing a freaking 6-pack?
I've never seen that shit in the movie at all.
Is it because some people were saying the in-art figure looks more fat? I mean, I don't know why we got a six-pack there.
Bro, you
This
think
is nice.
NR makes their own bodies?
Those hands are way better than Hot Toys. I mean, I'm just trying to be real here. That looks good.
You think NR
Design
makes their
there.
own bodies?
In-art themselves?
Yeah.
No, but they have people that do.
There you go, bro.
Yeah.
And
It's a glorified third party.
It's literally, that's what it is. And the sleeves came down way longer on the in-art ones, bro.
But this looks a lot better. I don't want to trash because I'm not trying to trash this figure.
No, I'm not trying to trash them either.
This
but I'm
figure
just saying,
looks
like,
just as good as Hot Toys. I don't think any of them look better than either. I think they both have little flaws. They both look great, but I do think that Hot Toys, the sculpt, like what Adam said, represents what the movie was.
And texture in the sculpt.
Absolutely. Look at it. Look what he.
Absolute
Nick. I just never want you to change, bro. Like, you are the most fun dude in the community.
And I seen his post. I seen his post about what he thought about the movie today, his live. Like, I felt what he meant, bro. Like, cause you know what I mean. I wasn't really a Superman fan, but that shit was fire, bro.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Let's see. Nobody in America, you mean? Did I miss something, or did I say something?
Nobody getting him till 2027.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yep.
Bro, by the time that NR delivers, bro, we're gonna be on Batman, bro. Like,
the only reason why a lot of people got
there'll be a new Superman movie by the time it delivers.
For real, Mel Gibson will be Batman, Superman by then.
We will have the Wonder Woman trailer by the time we get this figure. And no,
they both look good.
Batman.
They both look good.
They both look good. And the good thing about in-art and how much time they take is that they do have time to change it. And this figure, by the end of the day, could very well be way better than Hot Toys. Because
the only thing that pissed me off though is that they didn't do like nothing with the flight pole, bro. They just took the easy route, and they're gonna put an inaccurate zipper in the back of the suit. They could have did the magnet like Hot Toys and tried to one up them. But they, they tried to go easy.
But Hot Toys, man, we could get a battle damage Superman. Okay.
What do you mean? That's gonna happen
with a different sculpt. We could get, and that could be announced very soon. This movie's doing very well. They will announce more figures.
Hot Toys is gonna make a battle damage version. They're gonna make a Mr. Terrific. They're gonna make
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. Oh my gosh!
They're gonna make
there's a
everybody, bro.
Ultraman's the easy one. There's no heads. There's no royalty they gotta pay.
And diecast too.
Yeah.
Oh, you want that Ultraman?
What you mean? What you thought? You think they're gonna take the easy route? They're gonna give you both, bro.
Okay. I could see a Lex Luthor as well.
Absolutely, that's an easy figure. All they gotta do is make the suit.
They could do two Lex Luthors. They could do one in his like.
You're right, in the coat.
Oh my gosh!
And the engineer, I could see that.
Oh, I spoiled that, bro.
No, it's just that's in the trailer. You're fine.
The engineer.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. The engineer.
Yo, I'm telling you, watch, wait on it. By the time we wake up,
give us the number 4 robot, and that would be great. Or give us a battle damage Superman with half of the robot. That's in the trailer.
I said, bro, they're gonna make it like the Death Trooper, bro. It's literally right there. You could make a detachable waist piece, and you can make the fucking.
Where did you hear this, Ash? Where did you hear this beautiful news?
It better be coming.
Oh my goodness!
Waiting to pre-order it.
Oh man, Blue Tattoo said, "Who cares about a zipper? You aren't looking at him from behind, are you?" The zipper. But
it didn't happen in the movie though. It's not that I don't care about it. It's just
the zipper for me. I don't care. I don't care about the look. It's more of being worried that it's gonna a real zipper on my coat jams up. If that thing jams up on the suit, I'm gonna be. It's scary.
No, it's not even that. For me, that's touting accuracy. And we're talking about accuracy, then the zipper should not be there. It wasn't in there. If it was in there in the hero suit, we would have never seen it. Yeah, they erased it with the CGI, and they erased it from the film, but that's not something that you've seen when the cape was flying around like, oh shit, I seen a zipper line
But
in there.
Flavio, was there a zipper? How'd he take his suit off, bro?
I get, but yeah, there was a zipper, obviously, for the character. He had to do it, but I'm saying in the movie, accuracy is the name of the freaking debate here, and people want to just look past certain shit.
Yeah. How's he getting out of the suit? So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we know we're going to get a figure of Supergirl from next year when her film comes out.
Next year, it might happen.
If-
This year, they're going to give you two.
It might happen sooner.
They're going to give you two because they want to milk the money out of it.
Yeah, we could easily get a Supergirl for her movie.
Superman
and a
robots.
Lobo.
Yo, deadass, the release window of Hot Toys is giving you the dead giveaway that they're probably going to come out with another Superman.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Yeah.
they're trying to
So
push this one
you saw
now
what
so
happened
that
with
you get the
Deadpool.
battle damage one.
Yeah, exactly. You saw what happened with Deadpool. They're going to do the same thing. This figure's coming out very soon. Very, very soon. Sideshow is to December. Okay? So if that's to December, like Hong Kong's going to release theirs very soon.
Anarch
So-
is coming out when World War III starts.
Don't say that. That's scary. I don't want that to start in 2027. Venom Collector, you let the magnet rub around on that Hot Toys suit for a while and see how much you prefer it. NR already proved they can pull off the zipper. No,
That I'll agree with
magnet
you, though.
scares me too. The magnet, I think, is very
Absolutely.
scary. The zipper is very scary. I agree, Venom.
You don't want to
Um,
leave it on there for too long because then it's gonna
Yeah.
gonna leave that mark on the suit with it pulling.
But
through
even
the suit.
with a zipper, with a magnet, no matter what, if there's damage, you also get it with, your typical waist clamps and whatever else. Like, you worry about that. So they're coming out with new stuff. I don't know what the zipper feels like, so I'm not going to act like I do. But as someone who hasn't dealt with that yet with InArt, that scares the death out of me, because if it does jam up, how do you get it on jammed without really screwing something up?
you don't. You just don't look at it. You leave it there, and you never look at the zipper anyway. And you leave it unzipped the whole time.
but
That's the thing.
The
That's the
magnet,
thing.
you get an indention, that's one thing, but I don't know. I think they're both scary. So then I agree, man, but they're both scary. Figurecraft saying Superman suit like Iron Man suit, nanotech. Hey, let's go nanotech. Deadpool Gamut don't exist to me. Jeez.
That's
They're
true
talking about
as of right
Elektra.
now, yeah.
Yeah, where are those figures?
They're coming.
Boom, Ash, Venom. Sounds like a superpower move. All right, guys. So I'm for sure going Hot Toys. I want the InArt one as well. I do. I want the InArt one as well. I want to compare them. I love the movie. I think both figures look great. As of now, though, it's for sure Hot Toys, just because the line. I know we're getting more figures with Hot Toys for that, and I want them all to match. But we'll see. So, guys, anything else you want to talk about these figures, about Superman, about Fantastic Four coming out soon, about all of our merchandise, our popcorn buckets, our Funko crypto? Because why not? I went to Target and went crazy. Fun stuff, man. Man, so cool. Great show. 3 hours and 18 minutes in, guys. I want to appreciate you guys for being here in the live chat. What's up?
I said we went hard.
We went hard. We had 22 in the chat right now. We had over 30 people earlier. We had a good time. Good time talking about Superman. Good time talking about figures. And I love hanging out with you guys, man. Even if we don't agree, even if we don't always agree on stuff, that's what's so fun about this community, is and honestly, it's okay to get emotional over something. It's life. It's okay to
that's
go
what makes
back
it
and
fun.
forth. It's okay to go back and forth privately or in the chat or whatever. It's fun.
To each
If
their
I
own.
ever do that with you guys, I 100% mean no harm by it.
Yeah, me
I'm not
too.
upset with you guys. I'm not, it's fun talk. Just like if we were in the same room having a conversation and saying, well, why do they do that in the movie? Well, because of that. No, that makes no sense. It's friendly talk, friendly conversation. So, no, I really appreciate you guys being here in the chat. Appreciate the super chats as well. The Brickyard, you guys are awesome. And the panelists, 1 Adam 12, House of Collectibles. Thank you. 10 out of 10 for me for Superman. Once again, House of Collectibles, you had 11 out of 10. 1 Adam 12, you had a 9.5 out of 10. So we loved it here on the Bugle 6. And guys, before we go, House of Collectibles, Mr. Flavio, what you got going on over on your channel, man?
Yeah, man. So I've been pretty busy actually. I've been throwing out a lot of videos lately. My latest video was the Spider-Punk unboxing and review. I have notifications that Hera is going to be shipping from Sideshow, so that should be probably shipping by later this week because they just charged me for shipping. And also, I'm probably going to be getting Ahsoka the White as well within the next week or so because I made my first purchase. Shout out for Ray through Underground Figures. That was my first purchase through them, and I got the notification saying that that's going to be coming in soon too, so be on the lookout for that. And also, I just wrapped up my unboxing video for this guy, so be on the lookout for this.
Hold on.
I really love this pose.
Wow.
So,
That looks awesome.
Yeah, he's a
That looks
dope
really
figure,
cool.
guys. This is like my guy right now. It's a very, very versatile figure. He has.
Oh,
a
you should
ton
put
of range.
Superman up against him when you get the figure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
maybe I
pretty
will.
cool,
Maybe
actually.
I will.
That'd
but,
be pretty cool.
The unboxing video for this is going to be, uploading here probably by early next week. So just be on the lookout for that. But, this is an amazing, beautiful piece, guys. I'm super, super happy that I, got this. So this is how he's going to be in the display for right now. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for having me. The movie was a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 on a good day. And I'm excited to see what DC does, and very, very happy to be chatting here with you guys and the friends in the chat. So until next time, Brick, thank you for having me, and Bugle 6, choose to collect, baby.
Choose to collect,
Nice.
baby. Choose to collect. 1 Adam 12. What's going on over by you, man?
Well, awesome chatting with my friends here about Superman. Great movie, great contributions from chat. I did a little unboxing for this guy here, so check him out.
Hold on.
I didn't say it in the video because I didn't notice it at the time. My only issue is this flimsy figure stand. I appreciate they gave a stand, but you don't stay on it too well. So that's my first McFarlane figure. But it satisfies the Superman hunger until I can get my Hot Toys figure. So that's good.
Yep, that's why I had to get it.
Yeah, like Flavio, my Hera from Ahsoka just charged. So I imagine I'll be getting that in the next few days, next week. And I also am getting the Airborne Trooper from Revenge of the Sith, Hot Toys, Star Wars.
I still
very
don't
cool.
have the
Both of
shipping
those.
for that, but I'm on my last payment.
I'm waiting for the
that, and I don't
shipping,
have an
but they
email.
just charged them both. Yeah.
I don't have an email yet.
So hopefully those will come, and I'll be doing reviews, unboxings of those. Other than that, next Friday I'll be on the Movie Canon Geo show.
Nice.
Like I usually am. I'm usually on Ben Thomas's show, but he's off this week. So that's what we got going on, and hope to be whenever your next show is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Plan on the next show, the Bugle 6 being, what's the date today? Being in 2 weeks from today. I try to do it every other week. That's what we try to do, unless some big news happens. So, like, I say 2 weeks from today, but if by Friday, we have a couple of other figures that are big news, I might try to do a show on Saturday night. We will see. But yeah, guys, Bugle 6, catch me over on Wolfpack Wednesdays. Of course, you guys can check me over on the Jedi Knights Watch channel with D-Lo and myself, hanging out with the Wolfpack. Check out our Facebook page, the Wolfpack Facebook page. Find me on Facebook, and I will send you an invite. And we do a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun there, guys. It's constant. So, also, I don't know when I'm going to be able to be on Movie Cannon's show again. It's been pretty busy with the kids and everything like that, but other than that, I have a couple videos planned. I started recording one. It might take me a few days to put it out. I've got Paul Atreides that just came in, as I showed you guys earlier, and I should have the Predator in hopefully sometime, the Pharaoh Predator, that is, by next week. So not sure if I'm going to do reviews on that, but we will see. And yeah, go see Superman. Look up.
Definitely.
Look up. Go see Superman, and always choose to collect. Whether you had a bad day and you just hate work and life just sucks for a minute, and you buy a figure just to feel better and just feel good about things, or you just had a really good day celebrating a graduation or promotion, had a baby, you want to just kind of get something for yourself, and just choose to collect. It's fun. It makes things better. And speaking of, let's watch this video real quick. It's been a while.
Hey guys, choose to collect, or just choose to collect. Do what you want.
Choose to collect! Hey guys. Choose to collect.
What's up, guys? This Collector Joey here. Make sure you choose to collect.
I choose to collect, and you should too.
Hey guys, choose to collect.
Oh man, I love that. I just love getting the community together as much as we can, whether it's September 5th, the 24-hour live stream, whether it's this choose to collect video and getting everybody on, whether it's going live with you guys right here with, Gio or whoever, being on live stream with anybody. I love doing that, man. The Spider-Man video that we did a long time ago now, it's been over a year, that, you just bring people in and just, I don't know, man, just happiness, I guess. But guys, thank you for being here. Thank you, chat, once again. And until next time, choose to collect. And remember to keep working.